Okay. Hello. We're live, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, Poka readers, and welcome to another Poka Reads, where we explore stories about African women and, have a lively discussion about their lives, what they've been through, their experiences, and how perhaps it reflects our own personal experiences. Poka Reads is an initiative of Poka Health, which is a period tracker and women's health app that's designed for African women. If you download the app now, you will enjoy 3 months of Poka Premium for free. So go ahead and download the link. You just have to go to your app store and search Poka Health. This month, we have been reading Kindred, a critically acclaimed novel by Octavia E Butler. Yes, that's the cover. Actually, it all has different covers.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think this is different.
oh,
I wanted the one that you have, but didn't get that.
yeah. I haven't seen your cover, so I'm glad we have it here. But Kindred is a powerful historical fiction that follows Dana, or is it Dana?
Dana.
Um, Dana, a young Black woman who is repeatedly pulled back in time from 1970s California to a plantation in Maryland before the American Civil War. And obviously, this is traumatizing, but also forces her to confront the brutal realities of slavery and her own family history. What a gripping read, honestly. And I can't wait to hear everyone's thoughts. I'm very sure this discussion will be a very good one. So let's get into it. Jesse, Kindred was your pick of the month. Why this book? Why now? Let's get into it.
Nanaja claims she didn't recommend it. So,
She really didn't.
although everyone remembers you, turns out it was actually Elise. So yeah, I looked at the textbook and the premise sounded interesting, and I'm glad we chose it. I think it would have been appropriate to have this discussion last week Friday, which was Juneteenth.
True.
But it's still the month of, which is great.
It's still the month off. That's true.
Great book. What is it about? Yeah, you've talked about what it's about. I finished this book 2 weeks ago, and I had so many thoughts. I can't remember
Should
any
have
of them.
written them down.
I should
God.
have.
Yeah, you should have written them down because there are
I
thoughts on
think I
thoughts
did.
on
I
thoughts.
made notes. Actually, let me check my notes because I had but I love the book. I loved it even more when I sat with it for a few days. And brilliant, brilliant. It's sci-fi. Is it supposed to be sci-fi? I think because of the time travel
Kind of.
element.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
the science aspect of it is not explored at all.
No, zero.
1970, 18 something. What do you expect? They don't understand why.
No,
Yeah,
but the writer, you could have made it.
writer didn't explore it at all. And I think
Um,
it also just seems so comfortable with the time travel. I'm like, you guys are too calm about this for my liking. If I suddenly woke up in 1800s Ghana, I'll be
I
freaking out if I came
I
back.
wouldn't make it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't make it. I
Wouldn't
But
wouldn't make
make
it.
it.
I'll be
We'll
visiting
just fall asleep
every
again.
doctor, complaining to anyone who would hear me.
Like she
But
never even once went to a doctor or like
they actually
I
kept
don't
it
know, a juju man, something. I wouldn't make it. That's I kept thinking
oh yeah,
this.
yeah,
Also,
100%.
No, but you
I
know
yeah,
what? To be
I'm
fair, you
exactly.
guys, a lot of it happened in just a few days. Okay,
yeah,
let's say a
it did.
week.
I think
Actually,
over
For
like a
her in the present, which was the
yes.
1966,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
in the past, like
in
she
the
lasted
past was
months, years,
years,
some
years
Yes.
years.
even, yeah,
Years.
Yeah.
because he
Years.
grew up. Also, you
That's
were
so
saying
crazy.
that the sci-fi wasn't very like what do we call it? Developed. This book was written
Explored.
in 1979. Like
Okay.
I
So it's
I feel
actually
like
ahead of its
it's
time.
way ahead of its time. I think about it and I'm like, what was she thinking? Like if she was alive today, I can't imagine the kind of sci-fi she'd be writing.
Oh,
She'll be
It's
writing. That's so
insane.
Wait,
true.
what? She's not alive?
yes.
No, she died in 2006.
I did not
Oh,
know
She's
that.
like
we didn't know that either.
much
I
older
didn't.
than Yeah.
Yeah, way
And
ahead of her
obviously,
time.
this is the first book I'm reading. I'd heard of the book, I heard it's great. So when Elise recommended it, I was like, sure, let's read it. Because I plan to read
Yeah,
it at some point in life. Glad I read it now.
Mhm.
way
So
ahead of
yeah,
her time. So.
it is really. It reads like it was written last month.
Yeah.
It's
The
yeah,
story is
like you can't even
So,
tell that it's from 79.
Yeah.
yeah, like a unique plot because a lot of the books we've read so far, the plot lines are okay, like interesting, but ones we've heard before, seen before, it's expected, you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
one really
Yeah.
was just out of the box and thought differently. So,
that's the best kind, yeah.
anyways, I was gonna say maybe we jump off by saying what shocked you most about like shocking moment, shocking thought when you were reading, anything that really shocked you a little bit about Kindred. We can maybe jump off from there.
You have time.
What do you say?
Every page was
Book was
Yeah,
shocking.
it was. And I think the initial, like, imagine we're all sitting down and then I disappear. And then within 2 seconds, I come back and I tell you I've lived an hour and I've
Go for
saved
2 hours.
someone from water. What do you mean?
what's the name of the husband?
Um,
Eric?
um,
No, not
Kevin,
Eric.
Kevin.
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 Kevin,
Kevin, sorry, Kevin. Kevin did not freak out because she's physically disappearing.
from
Like,
his
Not normal.
presence. Sometimes from like
It's not
that
zoning out, like
he's
she's
almost touching
physically
her.
disappearing.
you saw everything go.
And
What do
then
you
she
mean?
And then she
returns with mud
returns
on
in
her
a few
clothes.
seconds, wet, clothes soaking wet.
And then you don't believe it. That part was annoying me. Like, what do you mean you don't
Me,
believe
that
it?
part I was like, men, men.
Leave Kevin alone.
He had to go there physically and
Find out,
experience it
yeah.
himself
And
to finally be
experience it is like,
And granted the
believe
worst.
woman.
Okay, you guys. Let's start from the top
Okay.
so that people I
Okay.
all
yeah,
right.
Kindred is about a woman that keeps appearing and disappearing in the 18
18.
Into the
Oh,
18.
1800s.
1976. Yes.
So in present day is 1976 for her and her husband. She's married to a white man, and she can't help it, but she disappears into a different decade, a different century, actually. Sorry,
1800.
the
Yeah.
1800s, and she doesn't know why this is happening, but she appears and then she saves a white boy in the deep American South in the 1800s when slavery is
Yeah.
still legal. And then she'll so I think the first time it happened it was for a few hours or minutes in the 1800s and just a few seconds in the present, which is 1970. Okay, maybe initial thoughts. What were our initial thoughts when we read the book, the premise? Yeah.
I couldn't put it down. That was my
The
thing.
premise was really good.
I needed to finish it. Like I needed to see what's going on, what's coming next, how's this going to pan out. Like that was my thing. And I like that she used the time travel to sort of talk about the racism, to talk like there were so many themes that she t touched on just using the time travel, and I think she did a really good job with that. Sort of like it's like you're waiting for the next thrill, but you're also learning the history alongside that, and that was really cool. Um, yeah, I like the book. I like the whole premise of it. I like the reminder that I would not have made it in 1800s slavery time.
You just
Yeah.
had to see how
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, like even as a house slave, she was not making, I couldn't make it. Imagine being the plantation. Couldn't have.
Yeah. You know what? The book grips you from the very beginning because it opens with you with a crisis. The lady has lost, Dana has lost her arm. They're accusing her husband of battery or assault or whatever it is. She has to convince the police that it's not him, he didn't do it. So already you're pulled into the book because you need to know how did she lose her arm, and from there it just kind of takes you through this roller coaster of a story and roller coaster of emotions, I think. And as a Black woman reading the book, you're kind of going from being indignant and rebellious to a little bit confused and trying to put yourself in their shoes and wondering how you would have behaved in such a position.
Yeah.
Because at one point during the book, the protagonist, Dana, is being accused of being pro-white or a Black, Nigger, and supporting and so yeah. And so it makes you understand that, things aren't so clear cut. The decisions you make when your life is at stake aren't so clear cut. The sacrifices you have to make. Anyways, like it's just a whole roller coaster of emotions that you go through as a reader, especially a reader who identifies as Black as well, and who potentially could have seen yourself in her position. You were born in the wrong century. And it could have been any of us in the wrong century and in the wrong place, essentially, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it was just too much for me. Like the book, at the end of the book, so I finished it on a Friday night, and I slept so terribly the night I finished it because I think I was just filled with like so much angst and anger and rage, and it really makes you hate white people. So I'm just like, guys, it
Yeah.
wasn't even educated, higher class white people. It was just, if I was in her shoes, I'd be like, I'm better than all of you. I have a degree, I'll have you know. I am educated. I take showers. So, guys,
Showers.
it's like, it's not even people living in mansions that are being rude to me. It's people that I'm sure I can buy your house in this 18 whatever time that you're living in. And you're telling me that I can't look at your face. I have to call you massa. Like, I was so enraged. And I think because of all those emotions and I feeling as if the book didn't quite give Dana, and that's fair, things don't always end up happy ever after in that way, especially in those kinds of stories. So like I feel like Dana didn't really get like a full circle moment. So the rage was just inside of me and I had a terrible night. Woke up the next day like, oh my God, why? Why? Why is
Yeah.
life like this? Like, and
Yeah.
if she could disappear herself, then why didn't she just shoot everybody up and then just slit her wrists and go? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
A good
a lot.
point you make, though, about the class difference. But I think somewhere in the book, Nanajo, it actually does mention, I don't know if I bookmarked it. If I did, I'll read it out at some point, but it does mention that slavery was good because it made the poorer white people feel as if they were better than somebody. It's explicitly written and expressed in the book. So there is something very intentional about how the system was set up, right?
Yeah.
In some ways I'm at a book club discussion. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like anyway, sorry. I'm like the person that can't multitask. I lost my train of thought.
He said the system found ways to do something.
Yeah, anyways, but you guys know the point I was trying to make. So
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, and to your point, you're right. Because the way that the system would function would be if it has to be disseminated, and they needed to spread it in such a way that even people in rural areas that technically we're all in the same level, we're all poor, we're all struggling, they would still be able to maintain the system and keep the Black people down by just empowering the poor white people a little bit more. Like Dana was the one teaching them to read. These people were in school and still couldn't figure out simple literacy. Yes, they were the ones in charge.
Mhm.
But like you're saying, that was the entire point to
yeah,
ensure that Black people everywhere were oppressed. You empower even the slightly above them, as long as they're white, that's enough.
Yeah.
and in some ways that
And that
kept
was
that
very infuriating.
population, the white population that would in fact rebel against the government because of their poor conditions, it kept them also subdued because at least they were better than,
Have something,
you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sinister.
So sinister. Yeah. So let's get into the plot. Let's start with the actual plot. I think we've talked about it a little bit. What do we think about the plot? I think so. Before I read this book, I read a book with a similar concept. But it's about a trad wife, yesteryear.
Yes,
And
yeah.
Oh, that's a
yeah,
new book, right?
it's a new book.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I read this book. I like that book. It's fine. It's okay. I mean, it wasn't what I expected going in. And then this book did exactly what I was expecting. Like, actually, no spoilers for the other one, but like, everything. And I like that the characters were not caricatures of like a terrible slave master. In actual sense, even the white people were just not, they were not extremely wicked. And I like that she was able to show that even these people who are not sadistic, just wanting to hurt Black people for the sake of hurting Black people, just normal people who actually believe in the system of being better than you and want to, I guess, have a functioning farm and a functioning economic household. Even living in that system is torture. So imagine living under a system where you're the owner of the house or master or whatever. It's just like a sadistic,
Yes.
terrible bully who
Yeah.
will sleep with all of his slaves and like hang them on trees, like, all of the things that actually happen in the time. So I like that she chose like a nice middle, poor people, but when they were uncomfortable, they made your life extremely uncomfortable just so they'll be okay. Um, I like, even though the time travel element wasn't explored so much, again, the book is set in it was written in 1976. So excuse that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved how it's like right, it got in and then like no fluff, just started storytelling. Loved it. What do we think about the plot?
Yeah, I think actually thinking about it, I think I'm okay that Octavia didn't overly explain the mechanism of the time travel because there are times when you get lost in the weeds as a writer and you're like trying so hard to explain the science. You want to tell us when you touch this machine or you press this button, it'll take you here. And it's like, Charlie, I'm just here to time travel. Just tell me
I just
where
need a
which
plot
year I'm going
device
to.
to tell my
Give me no,
story.
don't just tell me the button to press and let me press it and go into my future. Like sometimes it takes away from the story when you're trying to how to give us the science of it and explain to us. Just take me to 18th century
Yeah.
and
What is the
leave me
point of
there.
the
Don't
book?
answer any say I'm taking no questions. Time travel, full stop. And I
Mm.
think you know what? It'll do. It'll do. But yeah,
Then what's the
I
point of the
totally
book, the
enjoyed
time
it, and I agree
travel?
with you, Jesse, on the fact that the the um the white people were not like they're fine. They just were a product of their system.
Mhm.
Maybe, and the same way that we are products of our system. If we had been born into slavery, maybe we'll feel some rebellion in our hearts more, but not enough that we can talk the way we are talking right now, because what you know is what you know. And so you
Mhm.
will just kind of bow and live in it. So they may not have been inherently wicked, they were just a product of their system and of their time. And yeah, like they could have done worse things really, but they didn't. They were just like normal people just trying to get by, run their farm, rape a few people, just the normal desires of a heart when you are in that time. And they tried to make it work the best they could. Even Rufus's dad wasn't like he was not that mean, and honestly, he was not a nice, a friendly,
He had a
high-fiving person, but
temper.
yeah, he had a
Yeah.
temper, yes. But
Yeah.
I don't really think he carried it on the slaves. He beat his son more than he probably beat the slaves. It was like there's a principle of the thing. I have to show like
Mhm.
actions have consequences. I don't hate you, but I have to lash you.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying
Facts.
to embarrass you or make you feel terrible. It's just you do the wrong thing. I have to take as an example for all the other slaves that I own. It's just
Because he
how
was a
you do
terrible dad
things.
and a terrible husband.
Terrible
It was
dad,
a
yes.
terrible
But
in
not
general,
really.
and it wasn't wicked to Black people.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked to
Yeah.
everybody.
He was just a
You're right.
wicked
He was
human, a
equal
terrible human.
opportunities wicked.
Yeah,
Everybody,
he was
everybody can
doing
get
so.
it.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
I
true.
like
And
that she
white
did
people didn't
that.
like
Like
him.
it didn't, so then you can't say, oh, you created a version of white that is, maybe that wasn't the ordinary. These are the ordinary people of that time. And even then, it's a system that's almost unlivable and it's just crazy. Tipper,
Yeah.
what do you think?
So that was the danger of that book, at least for me, because at certain times reading the book, I'll be like, oh, is this how slavery was? I mean, it's not ideal, but it wasn't that bad though. Look at them laughing, running around, playing. You know what I mean? Like you haven't beat you never.
Because I missed that part.
No, because
She's
I
like,
wasn't
can I be seeing you in 2 days? You're fine.
like my sense of like slavery was like, oh, every minute of the day you're being raped, every minute of the day you're being slashed across the back, every minute of the day you're being, and so descriptions of them living normal lives, laughing, having their own family
Having
units,
like
like,
party or something.
yeah, having part. I'm just like, hey, slavery is not, but that's the danger. I'm telling you, it's dangerous.
That's how you keep them there. That's how they don't try to run away. That's how
Yeah, they have to
they
give
know
them
that
just enough.
at least on Sundays we'll get to hang out together. At least like that's how you keep them.
We'll have a
So
party on
yeah,
Sundays.
so
They
that
allow us
was
to
for
get
me.
married.
Yeah, for me, it was just like it tempers your anger, like you guys were saying. For the white owners or the plantation owners, especially for a family like what were their last names again? What were their last?
Wayland.
The Wayland, yeah, something like that.
Wailing, yes.
Yeah. It was just like, well, we're not treating them so badly. But I think the bad thing or what's inherently just awful about slavery isn't the whippings, in the beatings, is the fact that you don't have agency as a human being. Like that you don't have like you know what I mean? So I think so that it did a mind trick on me or mind fuck on me. And it was just like, like yeah. So I found it very in that way. Obviously, like when the beatings came and the torture part came, like that's so evident that this is wrong. But for me, the scary part and the part that caught me off guard is me at times as a reader thinking, oh, this situation isn't as bad as I thought. Or as good in my mind what slavery is. And I think that's a dangerous thought for people to have, especially the oppressors. Yeah.
True, true. And it's why they can say, oh, let it go. It's been so long. Just get over it. But and honestly, reading the book reminded me that we don't talk about it enough. We're not angry enough about the slave trade. And I think bring back anger. Bring it back because we are clearly not incensed enough about the way that they debase Black people and then set up an entire system to keep them there.
Yeah.
If you're a slave and you get married and you have kids, your kids are slaves. So you're just enriching the slave owner. Your marriage is not even legal. To be free, you have to run to the north. While you're running, they can catch you.
Yeah.
And even if you do run to the north, if somebody decides that they've caught you, it's such a thing. You don't have
They'll bring you
children.
back to the south and
They'll
enslave
bring you,
you.
yeah.
You're
And
never
if you're
really,
free and you end up heading to south accidentally, they can recapture you. So
yes.
at first, when Dana went there, I was thinking, oh, of course Dana won't be a slave. Like they will understand that, oh, she's not from here. She's not part of us. So
Yeah,
like, oh,
no.
they won't do that to her because
But
she's wearing her
still.
jeans. She has a job. Surely people know she's not a slave. They say, you Black, you're a slave. And it's like,
Because
no
they
questions asked.
genuinely believed it. They believe that you're less than. They believe that you don't feel pain or for whatever reason. Like Rufus was stupid enough to believe that rubbish. So
Yeah.
Yeah. He believed
the
it.
whites believed it.
And even
Um,
as a child, when he was talking
yes.
about, you have to call me master, I was like, what? What? What
He
do you
wasn't
mean?
being mean. He was just
He was just
like he's
saying,
trying to
like,
help you.
That's what he
Yeah.
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
he said, you'll get in trouble if you don't call me master. I said, that was the start of my outrage. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I
Oh
came
my
to save
God.
your life and I had to call you master.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
If not for the fact that
Yeah.
was her ancestor, she should have killed him. But she
Speaking
doesn't.
of
She has to
ancestors,
live.
why did I think this was going to be a love story between a white
Ma'am.
man? Between Rufus,
Ma'am.
so I kept waiting for it to happen
I did.
because
I
now
did
I
too.
forget that
Actually,
you read people and then that's how you know. I thought it was going to be a love story between
Also,
Rufus
thought
and
Rufus
a
and
black
Alice were going to
slave, and
fall
they had
in
to run away
love.
like something.
You're waiting for the love to go.
honestly,
Never did.
when I turned up, when we came back, and then Alice was married, I was like, so should she divorce him and go and marry this guy? In the whole time, I was preparing myself for the love story. I was like, oh, she'll divorce
Oh, you
Isaac, or Isaac
too.
will
Okay.
die, and she'll
I
marry Rufus.
Yeah, I went in blind.
Imagine my shock.
I never thought it was a love story. I wasn't waiting for any of that, but
I'm so optimistic. Just you and I.
No, but yeah, I think maybe for Rufus and Alice, because that is her family line. And we haven't mentioned this yet. Basically, Dana keeps getting pulled back into time because she has to preserve her family line. And Rufus, who's the plantation owner on which her ancestry comes from, she has to save his life multiple times until he fathers the person who ends up sort of birthing the rest of her lineage. But I thought from like the very early pages that, yeah, Alice and Rufus probably had a happy marriage. But actually, I don't think that that was literally raping a slave until she gave birth to multiple. And to your point, Anajo, I think slave owners or plantation owners allow slaves to marry, have children, rape them, not because they were kind. It was an economic thing because that grew their fortune. You know what I mean? So I think let's not get it twisted. I don't think they did anything for the slaves that were ever kind. It was always an economic benefit. We feed you because we want you to be strong enough to work on our farm, to let you have parties so that if you are angry, that dissipates your anger and you continue to work for us. Like nothing was ever benevolent or from a place of kindness, ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
I
Just to
agree.
let
I
you
remember
know.
writing, if there was ever
Yeah.
a time to celebrate infertility, it was that time because
Can you imagine? Like
No, but you got sold if you didn't have
enrich
babies.
me and pull out my womb because I don't want to enrich you.
No, but you got sold if you didn't have babies. You got sold to multiple masters.
I'd rather have that than to have my descendants and my offspring live the life I'm living.
Right.
Yeah.
At
So
least
it ends
and
with me.
yeah. Yeah.
It ends with me. So
At least you
actually,
can
question,
go.
guys.
Oh, sorry.
If you like, assuming you're a Dana and you were sent back in the past, and you were given the option, you can kill off Rufus and his entire family and save the slaves, but your life dissipates because that's your ancestor. So if you kill him, then you and Kevin no longer exist. And once you do that, you disappear. Or watch Alice go through all of those things, knowing that that's the only way that you will exist. What would you do?
So
That was
Save
first of
Alice
all,
or let Alice get raped?
Yeah, I think Ellie should chime in.
I don't think that it would have made much of a difference if she had killed Alice early. Not Alice, Rufus
Rufus.
early. Because he wasn't the only slave master. It was a norm. It was the whole, it wasn't just Antebellum, Maryland that this was happening in. It was
True.
everywhere. So the only thing it would do would be to shield, what's her name? Her
Alice.
ancestor, Alice, from all of this. It was happening to almost every slave woman.
And she could have
I
been
don't
resold and
know
worse would probably happen to her.
Thank you.
exactly. I don't know that it would have made that much of a difference. I think it was a very, very important lesson that she learned because all that she knew of her ancestors were their names were in the book.
It's in
She
the
didn't even know
Bible.
Rufus was a white man. Like, I feel like she gained a big understanding of her roots. And so she can channel more anger in the 1976 that she's living in. Channel
True.
more
Maybe she wasn't
anger
angry
towards
enough.
exactly. Because I don't know what it would have achieved if she had killed Rufus early. And I feel like it was a terrible experience, but it taught her things. Like it changed her in many ways. Also sad that she lost her arm, but like it
Right?
I feel like
Also
she changed.
unnecessary.
I don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that need to happen? She suffered enough.
He could
Oh,
have
like,
lost his arm. Kevin could have lost his arm
I
because
But do you
know.
think if she had experienced all of that before she met Kevin, she would have married Kevin?
Probably not.
hell no.
likely not.
Probably not. Honestly, like sometimes when our parents, well, not our parents, but like when in the past, when all these interracial things were frowned upon, when I read things like this, I can understand why they're like, why are you trying to mingle with these people? But it's a product of many centuries ago that we didn't have to live, and so we don't have that kind of experience. So to us, we're all the same. It's very la-di-da. Like I don't see anything wrong with that, but like it's very yeah. I get why before it was such a weird thing when people tried to mix, like when interracial marriages or relationships ever happened.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
even when
I read a
she
newspaper
brought her
clipping.
boyfriend home, her family was very upset.
Yeah.
When
I think it
Yeah.
she
still
brought
happens
Kevin
now.
home,
Both
It
of
Dana.
still
their
happens
families
now.
didn't accept
Certain
them
families.
because the 1970s, yes,
Yeah, it
we
was
were
so quiet.
comparing it. Yeah, we were comparing it to the 1800s. And so the racism scene, because there was actual slavery, the system was still there. But the year that she was living in
Civil War
wasn't,
had just the civil
yeah,
rights.
it It wasn't any
Martin
better.
Luther King, like, yeah, segregation had just
Yes.
ended, like a decade prior. So everybody at that time remembered.
Yes.
True.
So the system there
True.
itself is still
Probably
quite,
a bad time to try to marry a white man.
yeah.
Someone in our chat is asking, why do I think Dana would not have married Kevin? Because Kevin was white. How the white people treated her in the 1800s, looking at how Rufus treated her, I feel like she probably would have been put off by Kevin, no?
I think so
Absolutely.
too. I think so
Yeah,
too.
I think having
Although
that
Kevin was
prior
a different
I
knowledge.
will
soul.
say it's a bit unrealistic. I loved that Kevin was still her comfort place. She wanted to be with Kevin, but I found it a bit unrealistic that she wasn't angry, even slightly angry at white people generally. And there wasn't a scene
Yeah.
where she got so upset at him. I think that, like, this is what your people have done to my people. Like, that never happened. She's above me.
It,
Because
there
I would
was
have been
something,
upset.
But
I will not
there
leave
wasn't
him.
a
I will
different.
stay because I
No, no,
love him.
no. I don't
But at
think so.
some
Like
point,
she was
I'll be
used to
upset.
him. She was used to him as this is my love, like this is the love of
She's
my life.
married to him.
I'm married
Yeah.
to this man. I know his heart. I know that he's not going to do what Rufus did. And even like the way he tried to protect her when they were in Rufus's father's house. He said, like, I don't care. You're not going to sleep in the sleep quarters. You're coming to sleep here. Like, like there was a lot of things that being white, he didn't realize he could put her in trouble for. But that was a factor of he hadn't had to deal with it, right? But I feel like in the heart of it, he really loved his wife.
Yeah,
And
but
so
anger and rage can sometimes be like, it doesn't have to be
unreasonable.
unreasonable.
it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be reasonable. Yeah.
But
You don't
you're
leave him or
projecting at the
anything. You
wrong
still love him,
person.
but just a moment of like anger
No, but
and rage, and then
she
you go
needed
back to
the
normal.
anchor. And also, I think she might have experienced that if Kevin hadn't traveled back with her, and he was a different kind of white man, even in that time. 5 years went by and he didn't change. He tried to help slaves escape. He was educating them. So I think she understood, and you're right, anger isn't rational. But she understood that he was a different breed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even
Kevin was
Rufus,
good.
like they were a
Kevin was
product of their
He's
time,
a
as
good
we
man,
keep
Savannah.
saying. And he was a
Speaking
good man.
let's talk about the characters.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters to read was Rufus. Not my favorite character, favorite characters
Favorite.
to read. Because I listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, same.
He's quite funny, is he not? Was it
He was
just
funny
me?
as a child. I don't know about as an adult.
Even as an
As a
I don't
adult.
child, he was
know.
actually adorable. Then he grew
As
up
a
into this
child,
full
he grew
white
up, and I
man.
was like,
I chuckled a few times. I'm like,
we've
Rufus,
created
like,
a
you're so
monster.
dumb. And the
I
accent as
trusted
well.
Rufus, so I fell for him. I trusted him when I first met him. I thought he'd be a different man, but Rufus
Mm-mm.
proved me wrong every step of the way.
You know what? He reminded me of the white lady in Cape Fever. What's her name?
Mrs. Hutton.
Oh, yeah, like
Because
very
he's
oblivious.
not bad,
That way.
and she's not bad, but if it comes to it, he'll make your life uncomfortable just so that he's comfortable. And
Yeah.
that's how she was in that book as well. So even when she wanted to go back home, I think there was a point where he forced her to stay in that time just so that he would be fine. Um, because of what was the name of her ancestor, the lady, the lady he
Alice.
raped? Alice. Because of Alice, because of whatever, like she was basically trapped in this place, and she had to, I don't know if it's the same timeline where she had to like literally kill herself to go back, to force herself back into her presence. But he wasn't, I mean, every white man who participated in the system was bad at the time. But beyond that, he wasn't extra bad, if that makes sense.
The bar is on the
Like we're
floor.
qualifying the different
It is
bad.
on the floor, I'm
It's,
telling
it's
you.
bad as
Bad,
bad.
bad.
Bad, battle. You guys heard that song? Bad,
He
battle.
saved Alice. At some
Bad,
point,
bad.
they were going to kill Alice, but he saved Alice when she ran away with, what's the name of the
I'm
guy?
sure Alice would have preferred to die.
It
Fair.
was the character. I think she did a great job with character development. Like you saw all the characters grow, change, morph in front of your eyes. And that's one of the things I really loved about the books, particularly Rufus, even our protagonist, Dana. Alice. In fact, all the slaves, you saw how they changed, because of the different things that happened to them. And with Rufus, I mean, think of Rufus even in the modern day. He had a very awful household that he was in, an abusive father and an overly
his
doting
mother.
mother. I feel like he had perhaps abandonment issues. Even in this day and age, people with abandonment issues who can't separate or who don't know, like he wasn't emotionally developed or intelligent. And that showed in how he clung to certain people. His mother, who he doted on him that he could do no wrong. She would yell and abuse her and she would still always come back. So he learned that, he learned his aggression from his father. And so and also the father claimed slaves and took them and did whatever he wanted with them. You know what I mean? Like they were his property essentially. And so he felt that for Alice. And so, oh my God, it's so twisted the way he made Alice his, because she was a free slave.
Yeah.
And by attacking her, he put her in a position where, you know what I mean? Either way, she would belong to him. And he knew it. He knew in his own twisted way that whatever happened, I think he even said it at what point that like she will be mine or I will own her. And he did, So I don't know, like that's the thing with the whole book. And it's like, there's nobody that's inherently a caricature and bad. And for you to be like, that's an evil person. It's like normal humans. And what happens when they are raised and they're not emotionally mature, when they're raised and they see bad examples of like, or are caught in a system and how it changes them or morphs them. And so I think that's what's the makes the book so intriguing and intelligent, because it's like, this could be any one of us. And any one of us, and even people we know now, white people we know might behave in these ways, plucked and put in these systems. And they're not bad. These are people we call friends now. You know what I mean? So for me, that was the
Terrifying.
Yeah.
extremely so. But that was Rufus was, I mean, he made me so angry. But yeah. Who else? Who else was
Angry.
a very
I like the
yeah.
fact that she showed us that like affection, entitlement, like just cruelty, all of these things can exist in one human. Like he can be affectionate towards somebody, he can just be cruel the next minute. It was very, and like you said, normal human behavior. People are not inherently bad. Well, most people are not inherently bad. They're a product of this has happened, and so this is how I'm going to react to it based off of previous experiences, based off of all of these things. And it was just, and it was everyone. Everyone was like, everyone had their way. Like, what was the name of the slave woman that was in charge of the kitchen? I can't remember her name.
Sarah.
Yeah, the one
Sarah.
whose
Sarah
kids were sold.
getting sold, yeah.
Exactly. Like she was not an evil woman, but selling anyone's kids will bring out the evil in them. Like, what do you mean? So I feel like she did a good job of portraying that humans are not just one thing. They are
Yes.
multiple things based on what's going on at that time. Yeah.
Yes. And you get the version that, yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I think with humans, like you as an individual has to do the work to grow, but also like
Exactly.
different people will trigger different versions of you, and
Of you.
different scenarios trigger different versions of you. Yeah, which
I have
is
a
the
comment here. Says Rufus was a photocopy of his father, and considering how much time he spent with his mother, I think she's more to blame than the father.
Oh, you people will blame women for everything. You will blame women for everything. Let women breathe.
No, I would like this commenter to
Gotcha.
elaborate, because why is the woman more at fault here?
I know, but it
She
says I
was a
think her
terrible
husband
woman too.
was a
Although getting to
show.
the end, Dana found comfort hanging out with her because she wasn't
I
doing
didn't like
anything.
her at all. I did not like her. Like she was just, but also product of her environment. She did the best
Rent
she
of her
could, I guess.
environment.
She was just
She
trying,
was,
what? Yeah.
I think
I
her
think
husband was a
actually
show.
ant boys very much affected by their fathers. Like their mothers are great, but they learn how to be men from the other men in their lives.
Mm,
Really, because at the end of the day, the mother can teach them affection and teach them soft things, but learn how to be a man, you will watch the other man in your life and try to emulate them. And at the end of the day, Rufus became like his father, like maybe like a watered down version of his father, and only watered down because his mother's influence and maybe even Dana's influence. had affected him over the years. But
Yeah.
he became very similar to his father at the end of the day. And if we must blame somebody, I
They
say blame
said
the man.
mothers shape the mind of a man. That's what I have here.
Both should shape the mind of
Mothers,
the child. So
mothers
why is
shape the
the
mind of
father
a man.
not present enough to shape the mind of Rufus? Let's ask us first. They're both responsible.
But question, do you feel like what do you think Kevin would be like if he forget about 1976, we're in the 1800s. He was born in the 1800s. Do you feel like he would have been another Rufus? Do you feel like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think I very much believe in nurture being like 90% responsible for how people turn out, not necessarily nature. So if Kevin is great, but that's because of the time he was born and the people he was born to and the people they were born to and their experiences. So if he was born in a house like Rufus's house, I think would have probably been very similar to Rufus. He may not have been maybe raping girls, but if he sees enough of his people raping girls, that seems like the norm. And the black girls don't even feel it. And in fact, they want it, but they're shy to admit it. So I have to force myself on them and I have to own them to be there, for them to be in love with me. I think Kevin was great, but it's just because he was born in the 19 somethings. He probably would have been
I
very
mean,
Yeah.
similar
it's
to any other
also
white man.
possible that you're just a great person because I think at the time there were certain white people, very, very few,
True,
who fought
true,
with the slaves to
yeah,
emancipate them.
true.
I think
That's
that,
true.
but then even then the bar is low because being human and refusing to own slaves is, I guess
Liberal.
that's okay, I guess, but you are still benefiting from a system. You don't have to go through, you don't have to struggle to exist, to buy properties, nothing. And you're benefiting from a system that is getting free labor.
yeah,
Uh, Slaves are building your roads and building your all of the public services you're using.
yeah.
So how good of a white person can you be really? But maybe you can be
Mm.
human and understand that they are also human and they don't need to be owned or
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. Anyways,
No,
last
I
of
think
these
he would have
comments.
been
Okay,
exactly Rufus. Rufus is a kind guy. If Rufus, let's take it as a reverse. If Rufus had been born in the 1970, whatever, he would
Mm-hmm.
have been a Kevin, I think.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
was also in love with a black
Yeah, he
woman.
was just an
Yep.
innocent little boy.
Yeah.
And I think part of
Oh,
what the
are you
book,
for saying Rufus would have been Kevin in 19?
yeah, I think part of what the book wanted to do was show that, how people
You're a
are
People are so
product
corrupted.
different.
Yeah,
of your
because
environment.
he was a very sweet little boy, really loved
He
his caretaker.
was.
But
He
there's
was
also
best
that
friends with all the
element of,
slaves.
yeah, like the element of ego, because Alice is my friend. I think he would have never
Yeah.
sexually assaulted her if he didn't have those strong, attractive feelings for her and she wasn't reciprocating. It's almost just like, oh, I
Yeah.
love her so much, like, but she doesn't love me back. Oh, wait, I can make her love me. That's when that ego, because the system allows you to violate her and with no consequence,
And I'm sure
So
Alice too, because of her mother, was like told, don't touch the white people with a 10-foot pole. They are not good for you,
Exactly.
blah, blah, blah. And so she was also taught to even fear them, but be friends with Rufus, though he's nice, but also keep your distance and all of that. But if she didn't
Exactly.
have that, she
Yeah.
may have been open to being with Rufus legitimately.
Yeah. If
exactly.
it was a
See what I'm
I
possibility
don't
at
think
the
so.
time.
Alice was
Yeah,
in
I
love
don't
with
think so.
Andre. That's his name.
Oh yeah, she was
Because
in love with the other guy.
because
Isaac,
eventually
I
she would
think.
have given in if there was a chance. But till the end, I had hope. Till the end, Alice was like,
Oh,
nope,
because I think,
nope, nope.
the way it
Because
started,
she has
they
put it
killed
off her
Isaac.
mind.
Yes, they killed her husband or whatever, cut his ears off and sold him off. And it's because of you. You tried to rape her and he came to her defense. And because of that, like there was too much had happened. Too much had
Yeah.
happened, I think, but by then.
Anyway, last of these comments says mothers shape the mind of a man. How a woman accepts treatment of the men around her affects her child. So, and if you agree that nurture determines how a person is raised, how do you not agree about the mother? I'm not against women. I just really dislike that woman. She was beyond an enabler.
She
So,
Okay,
is. She was not a good
just let us
woman.
know your gender first. Because I know just tell me, you never know.
oh my goodness.
She was terrible.
She was
But
terrible. But
maybe it's just
Rufus
my
learned
thing.
his bad behavior from his dad for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
but that was the
100%.
truth.
Yeah, and I think though I agree that both parents have a big effect on how their kids turn out. But we're just too quick. Whenever somebody misbehaves in public, where is their mother? You
Ni
know, we're
mami
just so
wei.
quick to blame. Ni
Yes.
mami wehi. As if the mother is asexual and like just combusted and had a child by herself. There's
Yeah.
always a man involved, but nobody's putting the men on that same level and saying,
Holding them
hey, why aren't you parenting
accountable.
your kids?
Yep.
You understand? And so that's my reaction is coming from that place where we are so quick to blame a woman for how their kids turn out. But when their
Yeah.
kids turn out great, we praise their parents.
Ni papa ni.
Ni papa atua sika manako school papa ahwe ni yie. Do you understand?
That's the truth.
Stick to
Yeah.
one side. If it's the mother's fault for the bad things, then it's her fault for the good things as well.
Yeah.
True.
Let's talk about Dana, the protagonist, and her evolution.
Dana.
Dana, initially, I was a little bit upset with Dana because I felt that Dana was too accepting of her fate sometimes. And then I had a realization that she had no choice. And I think that's when I had a mini existential crisis. And how the hopelessness of a situation is just
Hopelessness.
so
Oh God.
bleak and so dark. And I realized how much Black Americans or African Americans don't talk about slavery enough and how they are the most, I don't think anyone suffering compares to them just because of how hopeless the situation was. I
Yeah.
don't see any group of individuals that were enslaved for centuries with no hope. Like, if someone could just do whatever they wanted to do with you, you can't escape anywhere. You can't, there's no hope that someone will come and rescue you. There is no, it was just a bleak and hopeless situation. I don't
Yep.
know why they were not killing themselves constantly because I would be depressed and get to that point.
That's because you know what you know now. If you were born into
True.
it, you would just your mother will tell you, this is what we do, this is what we don't do. We don't fraternize with the white people. We do our work. And
Your
you will
head
do
down.
it and you'll be okay, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my frustration with Dana in the beginning, but eventually I think she learned as well because some of the slaves also told her that, like, listen, at least I think at some point when they wanted to sell, she wanted Rufus to sell the farm or something, getting to the end. And then they said they might have a terrible master or something, or like they'll
Exactly.
okay,
They don't
just as
know.
things are. So you just have to shut up and then make sure this man, your ancestor, who is treating you so bad, who is raping your other ancestor, is alive and well.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I struggled with, because the book also reveals sort of like the dynamic between slaves themselves and how they relate to each other, because after all, they're also human and they have emotions, and how they relate to each other, how they also maintain some sort of hierarchy within themselves. One, there was a slave that betrayed her when she tried to run away because they didn't like her for whatever reason. So weird that you'd want to see your compatriot like beaten and like whatever, you know what I mean? But what do you guys like? I struggled with, because she had to make some very hard decisions, and I struggled with the perspective that some slaves had of her, calling her a white. Like, a lot of the slaves saw her as an uncle. Is it called an Uncle Sam? Elise, what is it called?
Tom.
Uncle Uncle Sam. It's
Yeah.
an uncle, but I mean uncle, auntie, yeah, Uncle Tom or whatever. Whereas they felt that the way she was moving, and she did all of it, first of all, to avoid, to sometimes save other slaves' lives, to avoid, getting beating herself, like save herself, her own life, and just to it's like move through the situation she was in seamlessly. But from the perspective of other slaves, they thought that she was a sellout, and that she was more she was in sort of whatever cahoots with the white plantation owners to save her own skin. So that and And so there are probably a lot of figures throughout history that have this label put on them, but I'm struggling to really, because I didn't really see her as that, but that was called out in a novel. So I don't know if you guys picked up on that and what you think.
Yeah.
If you think anything that she did necessarily meant that she could, towing the slave plantation owner's line, or if she was not aligned with Black people. But they disliked her, thinking that she wasn't fighting hard enough because she was in the house and she was a favorite. I struggled with that, and I wonder what you have to do in that time to not be seen as with them, as helping them, essentially.
So
I'm
my
sorry, guys.
thinking of
I
that
know
was,
I would have been a sellout because anything not to be in the field and be beaten
Behind.
constantly and to remain indoors, I would have done. Did you see what happened to her when they sent her to the fields?
Yes.
I would have
The
been a
field
sellout.
the field
I
slaves
would
were
have
not
been.
having it easy at all.
yeah.
But you
Yeah, like
I've
see,
been a house
being
slave
a
for
house
sure.
slave is it's like a
It's a
big thing.
privilege.
You're usually
Yeah.
the cute one. Yeah.
Imagine.
yeah. So I didn't know what to think of that. And you're right, maybe she didn't rebel enough, but didn't she, you guys? Didn't she?
I think she was a product of, she knew what could, first of all, she had in mind that her family lineage is at stake.
Yeah.
So there was that. Then she also had the knowledge of, okay, the world does become a slightly better place where I can actually marry a white person. Then she had in mind that I'm not like these people.
Mm-hmm.
We're different. Like I really am not one of these people. So she had all of these things in mind while thinking I'm not trying to, how do I, not that I'm not trying to do too much, but like there's only so much I can do. I think that's like there's only so much I can do because slavery does not get abolished until she knows when it gets abolished. Like she can only do so much for the people that are around her. I think she had that in mind. And I think that
Yes.
the slaves also knew that if you work in the if you're a house slave already, I sell out because why are you the one in the house? Why can't we all be in the house? Everybody wants to be in the house. I don't want to be on the plantation. So I feel like that's also a thing where it's like just being a house slave makes you sort of like a sellout. And then
Okay.
there was the added layer of she was liked. It felt as if she was doing the things
But
the
what's
white
she
people said.
like? Was she light skinned, you guys?
No, not
I
liked,
thought
liked.
so.
Like they liked
Like,
Oh,
Oh,
her.
light.
liked.
I thought you
Okay.
said light
Yeah.
skin. Okay, I was like,
No,
maybe.
liked. Like she was well liked. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's the mentality they have of, oh, this person is a sellout. This is the Uncle Tom, So it's
and she
like
spoke different, walked different, just carried
She
herself
exactly
walked
different.
different, dressed different.
what
Okay.
spoke like a white person is what they kept saying. This woman came in,
Right.
Yes.
he's talking like a white person.
Yeah.
Even Rufus
So
told her, you think you're white. And I was like,
Right.
Rufus, have some respect for
So
your
your
descendants.
Great granddaughter, okay.
exactly. In fact, does he ever find out that that's his family?
He doesn't. And I wondered
he
about that.
doesn't.
I don't know why she never just told him
Yeah,
that,
same.
Why didn't she
I would
just
have
tell
I'm
told
him?
here
him.
They would have
because
saved her.
we are family. You can't even have sex with me. That's weird, Grandpa.
It's very
Was he
subtle.
considering it at some point? Is
Yes,
it just
that's
me?
Oh, really?
when she killed him,
When?
he was about to rape her.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
why
like,
she killed
Rufus,
him.
are you serious?
That's why she killed him, right? I
Yes.
feel like she should,
That's
as
where
soon
she
as
drew
her
the line.
ancestor
Said that
was
several times.
born, the one that would make it to her lineage, as soon as that one was born, she should have shot him. That's
She
what
should
she
have
should have
shot
done.
him. I
As
said,
soon
when
as she
Alice had her
found
4 children, off him. You don't need him
No,
anymore.
but the
Let's
family
use
might
the
have been
semen. We are done.
separated.
The
Another
family
slave
would
owner
have
might
been
have separated
separated.
the
The kids would
family.
have
Then
been separated. He was
Mhm.
terrible, but
At
at
least her
least
ancestor is alive. She'll figure herself out.
horrible.
and he listened a little. He listened to her. He would not listen
Like the
initially,
ones that he wanted to listen to.
but she could like,
Yeah.
nudge him in the right direction sometimes.
But she
So
realized once Alice was gone, he started to look at her differently, like, oh, wait, another woman I could have. And
Alice
obviously,
is
I think he's always had an affinity for Dana.
and she looks
When he was
exactly like
younger,
Alice.
They
exactly
say
like
we're
Alice too.
she looked like Alice,
they say
yeah.
why are we promoting murder over here?
He hasn't heard the West.
If somebody
Murder
tries
is
to
not the worst
essay you,
crime. Like
if somebody tries
in
to
my
essay
books,
you,
murder is not the worst crime. You can always explain it.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna read what he says. He says, she literally appeared from nowhere, guys. They had to be wary of her. I think she's lucky she wasn't killed by the black people. And then you lot
True.
are out here promoting murder, but she also had a savior complex with Rufus, which I agree with that.
She
She felt
did.
like
Oh my
she could
goodness.
save Rufus.
She could
Yeah.
save it. But she
Okay, like
literally,
make him
that
a
was
better
Black
literally her
man.
women
job.
are wanting to save men. I
What do you
can't.
what do you mean by savior complex? Like you could change him, mold
Yeah,
him, make
she thought that she could remember when he was younger, she thought that if I can change his mindset, if I can teach him to read, if I can give him the right books to read, then he won't become like his father. So she felt like she
And
can
I
at
believed
least
her. I
change his
felt the same
mentality.
way.
Me too. I thought she would do something.
Yeah.
guys, I think her influence probably wasn't, she was gone for long periods of his
True.
life,
True.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
She
that's
wasn't a
true.
constant. She would appear, I think maybe she made 4 or 5 appearances throughout time and stay sometimes 2 months, sometimes more, but she wasn't a fixture. And so in the moments where she was gone, he probably maybe
He was
even
back to
forgot.
living his life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so her influence wasn't like we read it all in one, but her influence in his general lifespan wasn't as, momentous as
that's
perhaps
true.
would have hoped.
And it
Yeah.
was
Can we talk about
Mhm.
Kevin slightly?
Okay.
Kevin was a good man
In
agreed.
what way? But no, why? Why are we saying he was a good man?
because
He didn't
he
rape
did
her.
one.
And he
I mean, he
doesn't
did
bite
the
on the
bare
floor.
minimum,
He
but
didn't rip hair.
Low
The bar is
standard.
really
but
in
number
hell.
one, he believed his wife. I like that he believed his wife in the present. I
Only
like
like
that
two
he
tried,
listened
but
to
After
his
okay.
wife.
after try two.
No,
Okay,
but
that's all
because
right.
no, it's a weird situation. Like think about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Just
yeah, it's
because
just weird.
you love someone doesn't mean you believe the ridiculous stories they'll tell you. It's
Yes,
fantastical.
Yeah.
true.
And I think there was a point she now had a bag permanently tied to her waist or something, so that
With a
she
knife
had
and thing. I
a
think he
sprain and
packed it for
stuff.
her.
Yeah, he packed it for her the first time she came back, which
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought that was really
So
cute.
that was very sweet as well. And when he was when he got lost in the past, he spent his time saving slaves, freeing
Black
slaves,
people.
helping slaves be
Yeah.
free. So
Yeah.
yay, Kevin.
Kevin tried.
Kevin
Fine,
tried.
fine.
Put
We'll
his
allow a
own
man
life
to
at
succeed
risk for
to
that.
get some flowers.
A white
Yeah.
man, no less. Oh my goodness.
A white man, no less.
But I thought it was so like the fact that it felt very you wanted to see trouble, now see the trouble. Like he wanted to go
Yes.
back with her. I was like, oh, you are here you go. Take take all and the fact that she left him there for some years. Oh God. I started to feel
It
sad
was
for
like
him and I
five
was like,
years, right?
you wanted to go and now you win. So yeah. Yeah, I think it was 5 years.
He really went through it.
He
Poor him.
went
When she
through
found him
it.
again,
Came back a different man.
a different
Yeah.
man. Been
Wild.
through it. I wonder how
Wild.
that will affect their children. Like, how will they raise their children with this knowledge?
Yeah. So he says
At
here,
least
I
their
think
Interesting.
children
Kevin,
will not be product of rape.
At
true.
least.
I think Kevin was a very strong-minded person. He was alone for 5 years. Well, but I guess he's still typing, but yeah.
Yeah, it was
He was a
5 years.
strong-minded person. He was alone for
Yeah.
5 years. He could easily have succumbed if he wasn't. So,
Oh, did we catch the reference to, I think when she came back to the 70s, the reference to South African whites in the 70s?
Yes, sir.
wait,
I
which
Even,
think
part? How did I
I
miss
wrote
it?
down. Hang on,
even
as find my notes.
Octavia referenced it.
I was like,
Even.
Octavia, Messi,
Wait,
And she's
Messi.
not
which
from
part was
South
this?
Africa.
What did she say? Let me go look for this. I can't remember.
I made a note. I need to find my notes.
I think when she came
I'll
back, I don't
BRB.
remember, but when she came back, she was talking about inequality or something like that. And
Mhm.
she referenced like what the blacks are going through in South Africa, and we stand a
Mm.
self-aware queen,
I
a
love that.
politically aware queen.
Honestly, I wish she hadn't died because like if she was giving us this banger in 1979, imagine what she would be giving us in 2026. Come on.
Is it a
Honestly,
movie?
I think
I
there's a
think
show
it's a
of it.
movie.
There's a
There's a
show of it,
book
yeah.
about that. There's a show of
this
it.
book
Okay.
should be bigger than it is. Like, I know it
Yeah.
makes people uncomfortable. It could make people uncomfortable, but very much needed. Okay. What is
I
next?
I found my notes. What I wrote was she
Have you
said
found it?
South African whites would fit right in. I was
Yes,
like,
it was in the book.
Octavia.
I was like, how did she know? This woman really does have a predictive mind, or like it's so wild
No,
that
no,
she
It was
because at the
happening then
time there was
in the
common.
70s.
I think that's when
yeah,
it
it was in
had,
the 70s.
but it wasn't,
Apartheid.
but it wasn't so, you know how now there's social media, we can see exactly what's going on.
Mm.
Where did she get all of that from in 1917?
Was
I mean,
reading
the
her
news, they had
newspapers
physical
But
paper.
religiously.
Nadia Davids, who is a white woman, decides not to mention it.
Oh my God.
In 2025.
Nadia is just catching strays from Octavia.
Said,
I
Papa,
thought
leave
we
this shade
finished
for
with
South
her
Africa.
last week. We haven't. Okay, got it. No, but yeah, I
Oh,
read
and
that
shout out
too.
to malaria, ague or something. Ague?
Egg,
What did I
egg,
egg?
You, yes, yes.
egg.
Ague.
Yeah, that's so funny.
She took Tylenol with her when she went back.
Yeah,
I was
I
taking
think they take
chloroquine.
antibiotics
Just
as well.
taking
She took
chloroquine back.
something. I was like, yeah, that's a smart one.
Oh my gosh, so crazy. Anyways, sorry guys, I missed some of that, but
Alrighty.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about? We've talked about plot
We've got
characters.
Kevin.
Yeah.
We
Which
can come.
character
We
have
can.
we?
Oh,
We
the
can
themes.
The theme.
talk about the themes. Yeah.
What
What are
other
the
character have we dived in? We talked Kevin. How about any of the
themes?
slave characters? Are any of
Oh,
them
the
Sarah,
really?
boy,
I guess
the one that
Nigel?
was friends with Rufus,
Nigel. Was it Nigel?
Nigel. Yeah, he marries Sarah's daughter, right? The one
Yeah.
who can't speak.
Camille? What was her name?
Oof.
Cassie?
Maybe I don't
Was
remember
it
her name.
Cassie?
We
Cassie.
had so many of these ones, these names.
Carrie.
Can't
Her name was
remember.
Carrie.
Harry.
The
It
one
was
who
Carrie.
was mute. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
mute. Yeah.
Okay, and another sinister sort of, I just want us all, I mean, I think we all understand it. I don't know how many times I want to drive this point in, but I'll do it again.
Please, we
But
don't do it enough.
like Mr. Whalen sold every one of Sarah's children except Carrie.
Except
Why did he do that? Because he knew that the breaking line was if he sold all of them, he could probably never control Sarah because Sarah would have nothing to live for. So he kept Carrie, who was sort of a mute and nobody might want her with, not because of the kind of his heart, but because it was a form of controlling Sarah. Because once you sold all her kids, she becomes a mad woman now and she doesn't give a damn about even
oh
her
yeah, she
own.
will poison your
Do you
food. Like she's making
see?
your food.
Do you see? Like it's one of
Yeah.
those things where everything is just so calculated and so, I don't know, sinister, as we've been saying. But yeah, anyways, Carrie and Nigel get married. I think that
Nigel.
was love,
That's
obviously.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember
And yeah,
the other
their
slave that
marriages were
was
not
sold?
even legally recognized because they were not human at the time. So they could the marriages were not legally recognized, but they still had their ceremonies to I
Market.
guess to mark the life big life moments. And it just speaks to how strong these people are really, because
Honestly.
It speaks to how humans, though, can thrive in perhaps any condition.
Black
Yeah.
Okay.
She said, let me qualify that. He's a black woman. Oh Lord.
You're like, not
because
everybody.
I do not think other races would survive what these people went through and survived.
I do not wonder about that. Like if the tables were turned and this is what was happening to white women, like they had to, be the slaves. Like what would that be like? Would they
We
all
will not
just
get
like
the end of it. I mean,
feign,
we can even
feign,
talk about the
swoon and like
Holocaust
what do we
and
do?
slavery. We will not hear the end of it. We will pay from our asses reparation. The entire, and yeah, it was a terrible thing that happened, really. But the difference is, it was for 5 years, and if you're able to escape Germany, every country was willing to have
Everything
you.
else you were safe.
And then after the war, like you were paid, really. People died, people were in concentration camps. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yes, terrible. However, we have more books, more movies about this than any other tragedy in the world. And when Black people talk about slavery, and for centuries, And after slavery, segregation for decades, we are told to get over it. Get over what? No reparations have been given to any of these people.
Yeah.
Reparations have been given to every other group, to the
The first
Japanese
group, that's
after World
true.
War II, to the Jews after World War II. Germany was forced to pay. They went bankrupt, pay for the damage they did in World War II. Has America ever paid for any of the things they got for free from Black people? For the decades and
Continue to
centuries
get, may I add, because we're talking
And
about this as
continue to.
pure history. It's not pure history, folks.
and
Like
it took
system
it took
is the
what?
new, it's the different, it's the same system with a different face.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was
what.
Biden who made Juneteenth a federal holiday, no?
Juneteenth became a holiday in our lifetime, like literally,
Yeah.
I don't know, 5, 6 years
What do you
ago.
mean a lifetime? It hasn't been 6 years. I feel like it's like
Nah,
4
Biden
years
made it a
ago.
holiday. And I remember the
Yes.
conversation because people were
Isn't Trump trying
complaining
to
that if
abolish
we are
it?
all Americans, why should you have a
He
different
tried
holiday? Why is
to.
the 4th of July not enough? I'm like,
Because 4th of
Yeah.
July
people
was
are
not
not
our
even
own.
complaining because I
Let's
like
be
to
serious.
complain. And I would have
Yeah.
complained and come like these
And
people
Trump
shut
is
the
trying to
hell
get
up.
rid of it because he
They
doesn't see
don't
why.
see, she says
So
they don't see Black people as humans, which unfortunately for a lot of
Even
people,
now, like,
yeah, even
hey,
now. It's sad when, and sometimes it's unconscious. Like, I don't know how they are able to do it unconsciously. Like, someone will say something to you, and then like you look back and like, excuse excuse me. This is not 1800s, but like it's just so jarring that we're in 2026 and people still hold these kind of notions that Black people shouldn't have just because of the color of your skin, which you had no control over. You shouldn't be seen as a normal person. It's interesting to me.
I mean, look at what's like, let's
Currently,
bring it back to something that's very pop culture, like what's happening on Love Island USA now. I don't know if
what
anybody's
is
watching.
happening? I'm not up to
Mm-mm.
date.
I
I'm
mean,
not watching
no,
what's
there's
happening.
just commentary about what's her name? The blonde girl. So there's the first set of girls that go in, and a lot of I think there were five, most of them people of color. I think there was one from South America, lots of mixed black, and then other like mixed with black. And then there was they always put in like the blonde bombshell, blonde, blue eyes. And the discussion around that is, basically with the hierarchy, even with, black and white, like blonde, blue, white is at the top. It's like you have white privilege, but if you're blonde and blue eyed, you have like that extra,
Extra
like,
white.
somebody called it like white privilege on times 10x. So basically it's like, you know what I mean? So she goes in and then she's with changing times, or I don't know what's happening, these days, or with the generation Gen Z, but she goes in and she's very shocked that she's not the preference. Like one of the guys is just like, oh, I prefer women with darker features, darker hair. And she's like flabbergasted, goes to her dark castmates and says, can you believe that he prefers like speaking to them? I said, could you understand that somebody doesn't prefer me? They're like, yeah, because a lot of times people don't prefer us. Like that's our life.
Yeah, our
And
usual.
yeah, and she's not a bad person, but just speaking to your point, Elise, where it's kind of like it's just that unconscious behavior where you're growing up in a system where you're the standard, you're the preference, the way you move, how you act is the standard, is the best. And so when you're faced with the opposite, like you can't even fathom that there is another perspective, another
Yeah.
experience. You know what I mean? And when it hits you, you're like, there's a world in which I'm not at the top.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yes,
That
there
is
is
so
a world.
wild.
Isn't it wild? But anyways, it was commentary on TikTok and social media for a long time. It continues to
Yeah.
be, but people recognize that she's not inherently bad. She's just raised in a system that's made her. Yeah. I know.
And I think that even the most liberal of white people, especially white women, and I say this all the time, immediately their comfort is threatened.
Threatened.
Listen.
Like they will do whatever it takes to put your life in danger. Like it's
Yes.
crazy. Do you remember? I think it was during the pandemic, it went viral, the whole Central Park thing with the woman who had her dog, and immediately she started recording or calling the police and hyperventilating and breathing and
Exaggerating essentially to get her way.
knowing damn well that when the police comes, this is what is going to happen.
Yeah.
And And she's in, apparently she worked with the Democratic Party or some Democratic
Look at
Party.
that.
She's a liberal woman in New York. You would think that, at least she's aware of these things, like the most
The
diverse
minute
place
something
on
happened,
earth.
she reversed to 1880.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
But
very much
immediately she
aware.
was called out for doing something bad, not having her dog on a leash or something, I forget. Immediately she starts to victimize herself, and she plays on the advantages and the privileges that she has to put someone else's life in danger.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's that unconscious awareness, at least, which is scary, but there's also the conscious awareness,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
scarier.
But I feel
Because
like I prefer the conscious awareness. Let me know that you're a racist, so I stay clear from you. You know what I mean? Let me know. I mean, I know there are racists out there. I've encountered them, but let me know so that I can stay away from you. But if you're pretending to not be a racist, or if you're not a racist, but
Unaware.
then you make all these, yeah, you're unaware, but and you make all these backhand comments, do all these weird things, then it's like I'm questioning, oh, like who, do you
Then
know
you
what I
just
mean?
gaslight yourself.
Exactly. I'm asking myself questions, but this person was nice to me the other
It's not like
day.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
like they're not really race. Like, are they like, yeah, that's what makes it hard.
Speaking of themes, let's talk about this. It wasn't really in the book, but I saw something yesterday that I think happens a lot. Apparently, something was trending on social media. I don't know, but I saw it on Instagram that a Black American had said something to a Nigerian about
Oof.
they don't recognize racism, or they're too slow to recognize racism, even when it's blatant or something like that, or they just let things go or something like that. And then in the comments, people are making great points that this is not something we live. Like, we don't know this. So something that may be so obvious to you, and I say this all the time, unless you are overtly racist to me, I don't see it, because I
Yeah.
genuinely think I'm better than you. And I cannot imagine that you would think that you are better than me.
Yeah.
So you have to be overtly racist to me for me to catch it, and people who have had to live in a system where even, people on TV don't look like them, people on billboards don't look like them, they go to a school where they stand out, like they stand out constantly. They're hyper aware and hypersensitive to these things that Africans may really not be.
Yeah.
yes,
We have
I've
to understand
experienced
these
that.
nuances as well as Africans thinking that they can go to America and Black Americans are lazy and they're this and they're that. If you had centuries of the mental load and the mental whatever passed down, you would be the same. The
Yeah.
constant beating you and telling you you're useless, you're nothing, and that's even worse than the physical part of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
mental
mental
slavery.
I
abuse
think
that
that's actually kind of Dana's experience actually made me think of that, where you
yeah.
think you are different. You come from the future. I'm not of these
Yeah.
people. I'm not a slave. But when the white man sees you, they just see a black person. So as an
Mhm.
African, you're like, I'm not of them. I don't have this experience. I'm not like them. When the police come, bring out your Ghana card, okay? You're just a black person.
Not the Ghana
Facts.
card.
Girl, facts. And also at one point, Dana loses herself. She's like, I'm not, she knows she's not like them, but she almost starts acting like them because,
Has to
right?
survive. She has
To
to survive.
survive. Like she blurs the lines at one point. She just like she was like, have I become too submissive? Like she
Yeah.
embodied that because she was in that for so long. So, the same thing. But I've had that experience with what Jesse was talking about, and like being African, like not growing up in an environment that's predominantly Black, like you have a different mindset. And so when you come here and you meet other Black people who are triggered by a lot of things that they perceive as racism,
Microaggressions.
yourself don't perceive it as that, just because, like for example, being at a store and the cashier, a white woman, is rude to me for whatever reason. I'll just say she's a rude
Goes
woman
over
or
your
what.
head.
Another friend be like, hey, it's because you're Black. I'm just like, but is it, or is she just mean? So I have a lot of scenarios, debates with other Black colleagues where it's just like, it's because I'm Black. I'm like, maybe she's just a nasty person. Like, I don't clock it. You know what I mean? Because that's not my experience. Well, I don't attribute everything to that because that's not my personal experience. So
But I feel like given enough time here, you start to realize, oh, they would like that shopkeeper treated the white person differently. That
Mhm.
shopkeeper had somebody hovering over you because you're black. They're not
Mhm.
hovering over white counterparts. I remember,
Yes.
I always have this thing that I remember one time Albert had to buy something, and like he had too many bags, so he bought a pair of shoes from the mall or something, and he was putting it into his bag, and this woman walked up to him and said, have you paid for that?"
Oh
And
God.
Albert is very quiet, very calm.
Oh
This
my
man
God.
got so mad and at you. Are you talking to me? Like he was livid. Like I was just
He
thinking,
saves people's lives, okay?
like
Was it a
like
shop owner?
no, it
Was
was
it
a
just a
random
random
white
person?
woman walking
Really?
around asking
How
if
can
he
you
had
say
paid
that?
for his shoes
And if he
that were
was
like
stealing, would he do it
$30.
so
It was like
publicly?
$30 or something.
Publicly?
Would he also so publicly stand there with everybody
And be
watching, put it
stuffing it in his
back?
bag in front of the shop.
Yeah. So like
And
things
if
like
some
You
that.
people
cannot
I
wouldn't
even
pay
think
for it for
pronounce
me.
what he does for a living. Like, shut up.
I think initially like he was shocked, like he had seen it, like but like the shock of it and the anger of it made him like really question the person. He's like, "Do you know how much I make? Do you think I would be stealing a pair of $30?" Like he actually asked them, and that's so uncharacteristic of him. Like it's so uncharacteristic. It was like he was really really mad. Like why? Why? So
It's
yeah.
crazy
I feel
because
like
Nanajua, like
preferably
if
an
you're in
African
Ghana
American
and
would
you're in
be
the shop
angry.
and the shopkeeper is following you, it's because you have money and they know you spend a lot. So they're following
Yes.
the basket.
They will be carrying a basket for you.
For
Like,
Exactly.
and I'm
you.
And
like,
imagine
what
like the
are
culture shock of moving there. You think, oh, like it's fine, I don't need your help. Oh, I can help you, sure. Then here you go.
They follow you around though.
Completely
Sometimes I'm even
different
tired. I'm like, why
experience.
are you? I can shop by myself. You don't pull the bucket and follow you, putting it inside.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
I
oh,
actually
it's
like that.
okay.
I miss that in
No,
Ghana.
sometimes I feel crowded.
Follow me,
Like,
take my things,
let
make
me
me
just
feel
do my
special,
thing,
walk me to my
relax.
car.
Ooh, I have something
The
different here. It
princess
says,
treatment.
are you first of all it says, I think Africans are also racially abused. The mental slavery that Africans have is sometimes worse. They idolize the white man
Hmm.
so often. How many times haven't you heard Nyaminsha Bruni from educated people?
Really?
Which, you know what? That's true.
I'm sure Brittany is hilarious.
It
May
is.
God bless
Because
them.
God
yeah.
bless the
Oh,
white
Adele,
man.
you haven't heard
So
people
when you
say that?
encounter
I
something
haven't heard
like
anybody say that, but I understand.
People say
Yes.
that when like there's some innovation that they like they encounter some kind of innovation and they're like,
Yeah,
of course,
Kwesi
it's not a
Brody.
black person
Nyamisha
that made
Brody.
it. Yeah, so they'll just be like, hey, Kwesi Brony dear. Then they'll be like,
Hey,
Namisha Brony. Like it's a thing. And like you know how
I'm so
when
tickled by it.
you're dark and beautiful, they call you Tuntum Brony. Like there are all these
Brony.
accolades that have
absolutely.
very yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
oh
very,
my
I'm not sure
God.
that's a point
That's
we're ready
crazy.
to
So
unpack, but
I
yes.
racialized.
know. But yeah, even we have that. But of course, we don't have that mental load the way that African Americans have had to deal with. You can't get bank loans. You can't live in a neighborhood you want. In Ghana, if you want a place, you just need to have the money. Like in most of Africa,
Yeah.
you just need to have the money and you can get there. Here, it's very much, even when you do have the money, just because of the color of your skin, it's not
Right.
gonna work. It's
Yeah.
not,
Speaking of
yeah.
not having the money, is we have a different set of problems here because I know people who will not rent to certain people because they're from a
A
particular
different
tribe. You
tribe.
have a
Yeah.
whole
True.
True,
This
true.
is not the
I
Yeah, we
have
topic,
have
but
our
yes,
own
we have
issues.
our own issues.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point on the fact that we also have our own racial issues.
Yeah.
Like the idolizing the white man is such a big thing. And I'm
Hmm.
sure that angers African Americans so much because these are the people that oppressed us. And technically they
Exactly.
oppressed us as well, but at least when they were in our countries, they didn't do a third of what they were doing in like on the
For
plantations
us
to
to
us
see.
when they were colonizing us.
Because I mean, in the castles and the ships, like it
Yes,
was all
no, you're
happening,
right. They
but
would
it wasn't
catch
very
them, Mr. Ship.
overt.
You know, you're right.
Yeah.
It's worse here. It's
Yeah.
absolutely worse here because even now, like the way a random white woman can just easily walk to the presidency and get a meeting with any minister, and a Ghanaian, a tax-paying Ghanaian with a Ghana card
Mm.
will
The Ghana
struggle and struggle and
Gonna
struggle.
card. Yeah. True.
I met a
We
white
still
man
have that. Still
last
have
year or
that.
something, and he was like, "Oh, he spoke to our trade minister." I'm like, "Which trade minister?"
I'm like, how did
And
you find him?
Where did you go and meet
he met him
you?
I met him at a conference, and he said, yeah, he met the delegation and he set up a meeting, and oh, I
So
had been
easy.
wanting to speak to this minister, and I will not be allowed to approach him if he's working with his delegation. But because
Yeah.
you're white, it doesn't matter where you're from.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you do. It really,
Yes.
you just have to be white to have access.
Yeah.
That's
True.
it.
Which is
The
It's
in a
even
privilege
in a
less
still is
if you're
in
in
a
there and you
black
perpetuate it.
African
in my city,
country.
in my country, in my
In a
continent.
black African country is
Yeah.
terrible.
So the
Yeah.
issue, it is not just like that same system is everywhere that white people have been, they've implemented that system. So wherever they've touched any group that they've been in, including Asians, like everywhere, you guys, the system is in
Mhm.
place.
Do you think it's that
Some
way in
degree.
Ethiopia since they weren't colonized?
Oh, I don't
I mean,
know.
I think so. It is because most of Ethiopia is dark skinned, but the people they prop up are very light skinned. They
Now the
have
light
certain
skin, you're right.
features. They're
So
very
there's
like
still the
they're very.
colorism.
Maybe
Yeah.
I
this
was
is more of a
surprised to
colorism
see
thing.
how just very dark the country is,
Right?
because they came from they came for something. What is it? African Games or something. I forget. And they're so like the vast majority of them are dark skinned, very dark skinned, darker than West Africans. You would never see that if you get on Ethiopian Airways. You will not see that in the movies. You will not see that in anything.
Trying to
It's
think
a
who
worldwide thing, unfortunately.
like yeah, it is like even in Ghana, like what's that there's a name that we have for light-skinned girls. I can't remember. But like it was very
Oh,
much like
Obakoko.
Obakoko, yes. It
Remember
was
that
like
ad? Obakoko and Pim, na you dream lighter. Who know?
like it was such a thing. Yeah. So I feel like all of this to say that there's always a system to sort of like not prioritize, what's the word? Like um
A
I can't
debate
think
or
of the
like
word.
a
Sort
cast
of like, yeah, to provide
classify.
levels to like, yeah, classify people so that there's always somebody at the top. It's like in this case, of course, it was black and white, but like there was also, I remember we read a book this one time in the past about how like white Americans were also treating Chinese people or like Asian people. So they were that calling them derogatory names and things like that. So it's
Kinks
like
and things
always,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's always like some kind of hierarchy where it's like somebody has to be
Mm,
at the top, and it's usually the, like you said, white, blonde, blue-eyed. What did Hitler say was the, what do we call it?
Iron
The
race, yeah.
standard. Yeah, like the whole. So that's like society has just always, yeah, had
why
And
some
and
kind
didn't
of
just
we do that?
objectively
Like,
speaking, like you guys can stay in the sun for long. Like it's
you
if we are
get
talking
burned.
you're so
just
delicate.
biology, biology speaking,
Like
you really
And
aren't.
it makes you wonder why we never did that. We never said the ideal man is a big black man with a thick nose and with
because a lot
like
of it
Black
curly
stems
features.
from
hair.
our mentality being like subdued. Like they didn't start off physically. They came and they said, "Look, we have mirrors. You don't." They didn't say, "Oh, we really like what you had." They said they made themselves superior. We have
Yeah.
this, you
Meanwhile,
don't.
they needed us. They had nothing.
Exactly.
The
And they
reason why
didn't
they
come
came is
from a
because they
place of
couldn't farm in their
let's take
country.
it. They came from a place of let's make them feel like they need what we have. And
We never
that
died
always
from a
gets
black plague,
people.
just saying.
What'd you say?
We
Say that
never
again.
had a black plague because we're
Yeah,
clean. We are
honestly,
still a clean
we
We're
clean.
washing.
continent.
We're washing. Look, I was reading
Yeah.
a book today and it was like 1818 London. And I was like, I would never have wanted to live in London in this era.
Mhm.
Oh, being Jerry.
Yeah,
And
the
just
smells,
the
And
mud
they
on
use
the
the same
floor.
bath
And
water. The man and the woman and the oh my God. That's why apparently it's don't throw the baby out with the bath water because at
from the
that the
bathwater
time
because
you're
we needed to
cleaning
bath the
the
next person.
yeah, yeah.
anyway.
You know, like
I mean,
the origin of wedding bouquets was so it could mask the smell of the bride
oh my
on
God.
her wedding day,
Really?
Is that so?
apparently.
Oh,
Because they don't bath,
wow.
but on your wedding they have to smell nice. So they pick flowers to mask. And I'm just like, guys, just wash. It's not that hard. Just it's not that hard.
Very hard,
Yeah.
apparently, for some people. All right, all right.
Wild.
Let's move on, guys.
Anyway,
Moving on
this
to
apparently drainage was learned from Africa. I love that. I didn't know that.
I believe it,
What was learned from
100%.
Africa?
Drainage, like
So did we give them
throwing
all
the
the
baby.
knowledge or what? We didn't keep some
That's
for
Basically,
exactly what
ourselves?
we did. That's
and
exactly
then
what we
they made it look like they gave it to us.
And
Anyway,
yeah, and what they're able to do is what they're doing now, really. Like, I always say people like you are there building the systems, and when they're retelling the stories in the future, they conveniently take that out and
that
then they
out.
make it look
Yeah.
like,
They
anyway.
came up with all the innovations.
Yeah.
Anyway, they said,
Ridiculous,
I have
man.
here that the body remembers history. Dana's injuries matter a lot because the past leave marks. And this novel makes us realize that historical trauma is not just, is physical, not just abstract. So I guess that's what she was trying to prove by her losing the
With the
arm.
I
Yeah.
yeah,
was
Like it was,
surprised that whenever she had the marks on her back and then she came back, they were
they
still
were there.
there. I thought,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point.
True,
Interesting.
true. So I guess it was symbolic to let us know that Dana is not going to escape unscathed,
Yeah,
even though like she gets to escape and come back to her real life. But Dana, the
yeah.
money ban away.
The past, the past just she was just born in the lineage of Rufus. That was her crime.
And
Oh,
thinking about it, like the theme, like basically existing to make sure someone is alive. Because ultimately, that's what she was only brought
Yeah.
back to the past when he was about to die.
Whenever he was in danger,
yeah.
yeah.
So it didn't matter that she didn't want to, it didn't matter that she had a terrible time there, it didn't
Had
matter,
no
just
control
you
over it.
exist to make sure that he doesn't die. And is that
Oh,
probably, something about the people that lived back then as well? They exist so that the white people will be just fine, regardless
Yeah,
of how
that's
terrible
so
they had
yeah.
it.
true.
And yeah. Ugh.
That
Also,
is
I
so
thought it was
true.
so smart of Kevin to realize that you're always going back whenever this boy is in danger. I was like, well, how are you
Kudos to Kevin.
realizing this so quick? He was so smart, yeah.
Go, Kevin.
All right. What's the next set of questions?
The writing, I love the writing.
I loved it. I just
The writing is great.
Always.
the first time I read this book, I listened to the audio because I was like, this is a book I need. Like, that's why I bought this. I was like,
To
this is a
read
book that
it.
I need in my collection. When we said we were going to read it, I went and bought this one. I love the
I listened
writing.
to the audiobook as well. And the one who narrated the audiobook, I think she does such a great job. The accent switches.
Yes. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't fighting to hear.
Yeah, yeah,
Rufus
yeah.
It
She
was
sounded
did so
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 well.
dumb.
good.
Like it was so funny to me.
Yeah.
I think that's why I found him funny. Because how she's able to switch and make him sound so
I
southern and like
know.
I know that. I've heard it. I've seen people like that on TV. I've seen these
Mhm.
rednecks.
It was it was really good. Yeah.
So true.
Um, have we spoken about cultural relevance? I guess technically we have.
We have,
I
I
mean,
guess,
this entire
being with
book
an African
was of a cultural
I know,
relevance.
I
yeah.
know, I know. Is there any
Yeah.
link to Poka health
Hmm.
apart
What
from
link
wishing to
Um,
be infertile?
I wish it being better.
When you
That's
existed,
the wishing to be infertile.
when you existed in that time,
Ah.
Do you know what she should have done? She should have taken an IUD back to give to Alice. Yeah.
But how
then
would
she
she
would not
have created
exist
for
because
it?
Hagar
How
will
would
But
even
she
she
have
needed
had to
her
before him or
created?
ancestors.
something would not be born.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
maybe the relation to Poca health is like, what did it mean to be a woman? Because like, what does it mean to be a woman, And what did it mean to be a woman back then? And what did that come with? Like like it's all like even in this modern world, it still means something to be born a woman. Like we're still in a lower position and all the things that we face. But during that time, it was even worse. And I think what we can celebrate is the resilience of the women because of what they went through or were forced to do.
Yeah.
Like basically cattle, like forced to like just like there was one woman in the book that had given birth 9 times,
Yes.
But why
you
are you
know?
the way you're saying it as if there are women now that give birth 9 times, girl? What do you
But
mean?
that's their choice.
Okay, I guess you're right. Now, I mean, for some of them, for
For
some
some
of
of
them,
them.
yeah.
I
It's
saw a story today
true.
actually about a
So
woman that
what?
has 23 kids.
And is
23 kids
soliciting help
and
for the
soliciting
24th.
for help. I think she's only been pregnant 10 times, but that
Because I think
23,
one
so
was
like
Only
multiple
been
okay.
pregnant
sets of
10
multiple.
times? Only?
Yes. Only,
Only.
Jesse, only
Jesse,
10. No,
23
no, not
kids,
too many.
10 times is only. Okay, it's only.
And I'm just like, ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am,
But I think
23
for
kids.
a lot of people, it's a badge of honor to be able to have many kids.
Back
There's
then or not?
also, even
Even
now,
now, yeah.
Okay.
there's also the added layer of people, it's only, and I shouldn't say it's only recently, but not many, or there are some people that do not plan towards this is what, like, this is what I want. I have decided to have kids. This is what I want it to look
Like
like.
family planning.
Yeah, they just think when they hear family planning, they just think contraceptives. They don't realize that there's a layer of, okay, I'm planning to have kids at this time so that I can provide education, opportunities, XYZ for all of them. So
Mhm.
whenever you talk about, oh, do you want to talk about family planning? People are always very much like, Debbie, Debbie, Debbie. Like they have a notion of it's going to not let them have as many kids as they want, or it's going to make them infertile, or it's going like they have a lot of like there's also a lot of stigma. I feel like it's a lot better now, but in the past few years it was there. I think it's gotten better with time. Like
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, here in this America, I went for a friend's baby shower. And there was a pastor there, and he asked me why I'm married and don't have children. And I said, "Oh, I'm not ready." And he's like, then what's the point of getting married? And I was like, excuse me? I was so very caught off guard by the question where it's like, he's like, why are you, if you won't have children, why are you married? So,
Is this an
very
African pastor?
Yes, a Ghanaian pasta. I was
Mm.
very caught up, and it was very open. I just said, "Oh, I'm not ready for kids. That's why I don't have kids." And he says, "Then what's your use?" And like he said it, it was very. I was so confused. I was like,
You
"So
know
you
what I
only
would have said?
married
No,
your
no, no,
wife?"
no.
I would
Take
start
that back.
crying
What do you
and
mean,
say,
what's
I
your
can't
use?
have
Are
kids.
you
Crying?
I'm
sure that's the
barren.
word?
Now,
Yes.
now
There were
deal
That's what
with
he
more.
it.
said.
We were quite a number of us, and it was me and this other girl. We were the like I think we were the ones he was talking to because one was engaged about to get married, and then I was married for a couple of years and didn't have kids. He was like, it's like so we asked him like, is the reason why you got married to your wife just so she should have kids? He's like, yes, we got pregnant on our wedding night. I said, I was so confused. He's like, we used 2 condoms and still. I was like, that's the reason why you had
So
kids
he
on your
used
wedding. Like, why are
condoms,
you using 2 condoms? First
which
of
means he
all, but
didn't want to
anyway,
get pregnant.
like it was very interesting to me that
This
in
man is very ignorant.
2026, in a person living in a Western world, in a person who I think I assumed him to be educated. I don't know what the level
Yeah.
of education was, but I assumed him to be educated, was telling me that my sole purpose in this life was after I've married to make children. I was
Have
so
children.
confused. So it's something that happened a lot in the past, but it's still happening today where people feel like a woman's worth is in getting married and having kids. So it's not just the 1800s thing, it's still present currently.
Yeah, I mean, when they oppressed women for so long, women couldn't work, women couldn't really do anything. Honestly, that was the only thing that women
Yeah.
could do, really.
Yeah.
Just marry and give birth. So all of those poor women who had to do the things they didn't want to do, sorry to them. Very, very sorry
Thank
to
you
them.
for standing your ground so that we can
Can
eh,
now
have
make a
have
choice.
have a choice and have the ability to
Have
speak.
big mouth.
I do
And
think that and it's crazy to me how people just, because like I have friends who are pregnant and how I feel like, I don't know, I feel like when a woman is pregnant, she should be given everything, especially at work. And the
of
way
course,
work is treating them,
everything.
like,
She
then why
deserves the
would anyone
world.
want to be pregnant, really?
Yeah, she deserves the
Why
world.
would anyone, and yet you want women to think that their sole purpose is to give birth?
Yeah, insane.
We don't complain enough. Again, we really don't complain enough. Women who are
Ah,
pregnant in the workplace don't complain enough, to be honest.
They'll say, other women have done it before you again.
That is why we should complain.
The
So that
truth.
there'll be no other women who have done it before us and
I've done it
kept me.
before me and have kept quiet. Yeah.
We should all complain.
Oh, you have the ones who are cute. And it's also a thing, it's the same as how women who don't have cramps feel like if you're having cramps, you're doing too much. What's all this? I remember somebody, like, who was this? Someone working with, like, we were working in the hospital, and one of the girls had terrible cramps, and so she was useless in the hospital. Well, like she couldn't work. She was in pain. And they're like, every time you come and say that you have cramps. I saw red because what do you mean? And you, as a man, you have no, like, close your mouth.
Oh, this is
As
a
soon
man
as somebody
talking.
says, yes, as soon as
Should have
somebody
punched him
says
in the mouth.
they have cramps, be
Because
quiet.
if I had a
What do
choice,
you
I would
mean?
choose to go through pain. Really.
Why? Like, and I think they say that a lot of people pretend to have cramps or pretend their pregnancy is terrible or like you don't know that. You
You
really
don't know
don't know
that.
that. People have horrible experiences, and just because someone has an easy experience or your wife,
People lose their lives like
yes, it's a
everywhere, in
Guys,
every
dangerous.
country in the
pregnancy is
world.
a health hazard.
Maternal mortality is not zero.
It's
No, but
highest in Africa. It's highest
people
in
lose their lives,
Africa.
and you're saying people are exaggerating. Like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Anyway.
So
Ah.
they're about to censor our YouTube.
Bleep.
Yeah,
I just hate it when
think
people are talking about, especially men, are
honestly,
talking about women's issues. Again, we have to complain.
always assume that these women are going through it because chances are they probably are.
They are,
Like
yeah.
the fact that you assume that they're faking it, it's wild to me.
And the
It's
thing is, the reason why they think that we're not is because now people are not talking about
are
it.
quiet about it.
We are
Yeah,
quietly and just like, oh, I have to, let me just firm it. Let me just grin and bear it. No, no, no. Yeah, let's stop grinning and bearing it. Complain. Because honestly,
yeah.
actually complaining sometimes eases the burden. Just talking about it and saying, look, I'm in a lot of pain. This is how I'm feeling. Somebody might even help you out and say, oh, what do you need?
What
Let me get you
exactly?
something. Don't sit with your pain quietly.
Yeah.
But
Talk about it.
it's a badge
I'm
of honor.
struggling.
It's a badge of honor in our society where I have a friend whose mother told her, don't, she was in labor. And her mother told her, don't go there and go and disgrace me. Don't go and make noise. Don't go. I was so confused. So she said that it was after like
This me,
hour 6, after like, no, after like 8 hours that she realized what, like, she wasn't dilating. They were like, do you want the epidural? She said, okay, finally, yes. She got the epidural and she was like, I've been stupid for hours because I could have been in this less
in this
pain.
state.
Yeah.
And I was just grinning, like, and she was like, anytime the nurses would come, they would say, like, they ask, what's your pain level? And she would say, like, 10 out of 10. And they're like, you're awfully quiet
You're
for
not acting
someone
like,
who's pain. Like, you're just lying down. She's like, she
oh,
said
Raji.
her whole head was on fire. And I was like, so why were you lying down quietly? You know, we have that as like a mentality of we don't make noise. It's
They
painful,
weren't
but
ready to
they've,
complain when
they've
menopause
gone
hit.
they've gone
But
through it.
to
Our
be fair,
ancestors
I
have
still
gone
Complain to
through it.
doctors. Like, you guys, you're not even
ultimate.
ready for me.
I feel like if I ever got pregnant, I don't know if maybe I'm like the ultimate thing would be like natural birth, no epidural.
Adele, it's not necessary.
You
No.
see what I'm saying?
It's
But
not
why?
necessary. Why? Like,
I'm the
Why?
opposite, actually. I want you to shoot me up with all of the painkillers. I don't want to
yes,
thing.
yes,
No,
same.
but this is to sort of feed into the whole like, is it like even like women, segments of women, I guess me included, feeling like, okay, I mean, I would definitely probably offer a epidural because at this point, like I have, but like that's kind of where I feel like, oh, you did it, like my mother did it, grandmothers did it, centuries of African women did it, Black women
Because they didn't
enslaved
have the
women did it.
option.
Why can't you do it? And so
They
it's like
didn't,
that
first
badge
of all,
of
they didn't
I'm a
have the
honor.
modern woman.
option. They didn't have the
I'm a
options
baby
that you
girl.
have now. They also did not have the kind of inflammation that you have now from all the food that you're eating, all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
processed things that you're using, they didn't have all of that. It's like before painkillers, people were in pain. But now
Yeah,
you
but
don't
they
have to
They
managed
live
have
to.
with
much
that
pain.
pain.
Right,
They
right.
managed.
And
Now you
really,
don't
why
have to
is
live
it the
with that
only
pain.
pain that we shouldn't treat? Because every other
Thank
pain,
you.
we want,
Even a headache,
doctors
Yeah.
treat every other pain.
No, but it's
even a
just
headache.
twisted the way we think and how I don't even know how this thought was passed down to me or how it's been passed down to other women and they're sort of seeing like they failed if they had C-section rather than a natural birth? Like, is there hierarchy around?
Yeah,
Nanajo, you can tell
people
me,
will
is there
tell
hierarchy
you
among
that
mothers
you were
about who
lazy
did natural and who
They'll
didn't?
say you're lazy.
You're lazy for having a C-section.
Yeah,
All right.
they
because
don't
you didn't
realize
want to push.
they don't realize that the
Like, yeah,
recovery
you just
after a
want to lay down and somebody else
C-section
will do the
is
hard work.
recovery
Yeah.
after a C-section is way worse than after a natural
And I hear
birth.
there's something like that on breastfeeding as well.
Yeah, if you don't
Yes,
breastfeed,
natural
Hierarchy.
versus
Yes.
formula.
Yeah.
And if you you have to do exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months or like until the baby starts eating natural solids. If you do it for only 4 months, you're like, you couldn't do 6 months. Sad.
it's always
Women, we
one
need to
thing
call
or
ourselves
the
because it's not
other.
men are not the ones
There's,
policing
there's,
this.
there's no
Other
winning.
women.
So just do you, honestly.
Just do you, because you can't win. Period. Period. Anyways.
All right. The last thing, what is it? What is it, Elise? What do you take from the
Elise's
book?
Are we
question.
there? Oh my gosh. Okay.
What we are taking into our lives from the
Are
book.
we ending? Okay.
What are
The
we
one
taking into our
lesson
life?
or one
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 lesson.
lesson
lesson, yeah.
or one advice or
What's my
one.
one lesson?
I think for me, it wasn't a lesson. It was just like very eye-opening for me that I knew slavery was bad. I knew it was terrible, but having to relive it in these pages and actually see what they went through on a day-to-day. Of course, they found pockets of time to be happy and to celebrate and do all of the things, but just the existential dread and the bleakness and the hopelessness. You're born into this thing, and imagine being a mother and giving birth to your child, knowing that your child will never know better than you. Like, they are cursed to this life you're living. If they're a boy, they will work the fields, they'll be beaten, they'll be sold like chattel. Oh gosh, it made me appreciate Black Americans even more because they built America with their bare hands. They built
Literally.
it what it is today. And
Yeah.
they are not benefiting from it. They've really gotten the short end of the stick from Africans, from the whites, from everybody.
Sad.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think mine was that the fact that I was reminded that reading is rebellion and just never stop learning, never stop reading because look at how much power Dana had just because she could read and write and how passing that on was even seen like the white masters were so against the idea of her teaching the slaves to read because there was power in being able to learn and understand things for yourself. And for me, that was like a big thing. I was like, it was such an eye-opening thing for me to realize that reading is how you discover anything, it's how you learn about the world. And learning is what empowers you because if enough of them learn to read, they will start to realize that, this gives me a better understanding of my life and myself. Maybe I don't have to be like this. And that's why they try to stop it at every point and minimize how many of them could actually learn and express themselves in reading and in writing. They were tearing pages of their Bibles out to stop them from learning things about themselves and things like that. So for me, it reminded me that learning, reading is rebellion and to never stop learning for the rest of my life, basically.
That's a very good point. And it's something
Yeah.
no one can take from you, no matter what. They'll
Yeah.
have to kill you.
Let me read
have-
something from the book, Nanajwa, to punctuate the point. It says,
Okay.
Mhm.
this was towards the end when Rufus was educating his Joe, I think his child, as well as some of the other kids. It says, some of his neighbors found out what I was doing and offered him fatherly advice. It was dangerous to educate slaves, they warned. Education made Blacks satisfied with slavery. It spoiled them for field work. The Methodist minister said that it made them disobedient, made them want more than the Lord intended them to have. Another man said educating slaves was illegal, and actually it wasn't, but yeah,
It was.
basically.
It was illegal.
Not in his state, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But those are some of the snippets of why they didn't want the Black people.
Mhm.
And so I have a comment
Like
here, Nanaja. They
never
said
stop
reading
learning.
Never
is
stop
rebellion. Put it on a shirt. So
Poka reading is
reading is
rebellion.
rebellion.
We need to do it actually. Reading is
Yeah.
rebellion.
Pockery shirt, for the Pockery shirt. The shirt is coming. We'll be in our
Our
shop or something.
bookmarks too, you know.
Our bookmarks are coming.
Yes.
Yes, it would be
Oh,
cool.
our bookmark should have that. We should have that
Yeah.
saying too.
Reading is
Good
rebellion.
idea.
Okay, what is my takeaway? Oh, do you want to go?
No, you go.
I think for the most part, I guess I should say that like survival, like when you have to survive, you would do like we would all do anything to survive. Of course, we're barring like we've never had to be in some of these situations, so we don't know what we would do, but for the most part, we would all do anything, whatever it takes to survive. And survival can be complicated. A lot of the people had to make these messy decisions that we think, oh, we would never have done that, or we never, but like to survive, they had to do things that we cannot understand, but we shouldn't judge because we haven't been in those situations. So I guess it's just a reminder to me that I don't know what people are going through. So if they're doing whatever they're doing to survive, I cannot judge that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something to think about. I don't know what people are going through, so I can't judge what's going on in their lives. It might be a survival hack for them. It might be this is how they manage. And so, yeah. So just like Dana had to do things to survive, Alice had to do things to survive. Sarah had to like it was hard and it was some of the decisions were horrible. I don't know what I would do in those situations, but they had to survive, so they had to do these things. And yeah.
Yeah. And to your point, even I also don't judge Black people who were considered, what is it?
Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom's.
Uncle Tom.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
would have experiencing being there with Dana when she went to work in the fields. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I
After
will
the
come.
first whipping, I would have
You
signed
can
up for a
beat
white man real
the
quick.
confirmation. I will conform. I will be what you want me to be.
Bring me to the house, please.
Taking me to the
I would have
showers.
found the closest master to befriend, can make me his concubine, and we're good. We're good
Very
after that.
Randy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's small sex. If it's
I
out, it's not rape. It's sex.
Which would be forced on you anyway. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so
You know, who has watched the Boondocks? Has anyone watched the
The
Boondocks?
Boondocks, yes, I used to.
Uncle
the
Ruckus.
show.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was the Uncle Tom. What a caricature. Yeah, but I think at least just
Sometimes, yeah, that is how they also survive. You will really do anything to survive if you are put in that situation, really.
yeah, and you might do
Yeah.
worse. You might do worse.
Honestly,
You
it's
don't
easy
know
to
that.
sit here and think you would be the one person who is like the main character and be like,
rebel.
dear.
Sis.
Yeah.
How do you want it? On my back? Leg spread eagle.
you want me to call you baby? What do you need?
Tell me what to do.
You give him options. Which package do you want?
Yeah. Anyways, so let me see. I think mine kind of builds on everybody's points, particularly Elise's, I think, but I think I'm still mind boggled about the complexity of like human nature in general, because was there a character in the book, even Mr. Wayland himself, who was awful, evil? Like, is there anybody in the book that we can say, a Satan spawn? Not really. These were just normal people, you know what I mean? Because, in the end, Mr. Wayland ended up doing something really good for Dana. He called for Kevin because he had kept his word. So it was a man of like had good, strong moral integrity. So I think what this has left me grappling with is just the complexity of, human nature. I've even seen it in myself, some of the things that you don't think you will ever do, but when you find yourself in a tight spot that you end up doing. And so I think just building on what Elise is saying, that there's such a massive spectrum when it comes to who we are as individuals. And I think for the most part, circumstances will allow us to stay in the happy middle where we're not on any extreme end. But depending on what life throws at you or what happens, you will find yourself at the polar end. So somebody has stolen, somebody has murdered, somebody has, I don't know, can we have a justify?
No. No,
So that one, we don't do that one.
No,
That-
that one.
We
Do.
cannot.
Every
Because-
other crime you
Yes.
can.
Yeah, there was no
Rape and
reason
crime
for you to
against
Wait,
come
someone.
and do
murder?
it.
Girl, what do you mean?
Like you just didn't have any self-control. No.
At that point.
Or
Yeah, so
someone
not that
pushed
one.
you to a point where you had to kill them. It
Like
happens.
imagine she pushed me so
Oh.
hard I raped her. Oh man.
That
Makes no
one
sense.
doesn't count.
God forbid.
Yeah. But circumstances will test you. And I think if all of us think about if you've lived long enough, you'll notice the varying personalities of yourself coming out
Mhm.
depending on the situation that you were given. And
Yeah.
if you hadn't been through that, you could point to somebody and say they're wicked, they're evil, they have no morals, they're this. But if you've been through it, you'll understand that we all just want to survive. And,
Yeah.
anyways, such a good book, you guys.
It's
It's
really
I
a
really
love
good
good.
that
It's a
the
really
but
good
challenge.
there's objectively a bad person in the book. Bad people.
Ooh,
Our audience. No.
the whippers, like the people who were the field, like those were the true evil people.
Like there was this one guy
Mr.
who was
Whalen
on
is
the
bad.
field.
The entire Whalen family is bad.
Yeah, they were
The
not.
entire
So
system,
I don't
the
think so.
The entire
government,
system bad.
everybody.
But no,
Because
I think the
bad
characters were
people, we don't really have, it's easy, and we talk about this as women, about men, because everybody can easily condemn like the objectively bad person, the caricature of a man who will like forcefully rape you, who will kill you, the serial killer. But most people are not like that. Most people are the people who allow it to happen and will keep quiet.
Yes.
They enable the system
Yeah.
because they benefit from it. Like you are bad.
Yes. Okay.
As long as you're not speaking on the if someone is being there's a saying, right? I don't know verbatim, but
Yeah, if you
you're
stay quiet, you're part of the
Then
problem.
we're
you're
all
on the side
bad.
of your presence.
Then we're
Yeah.
all bad.
Oh, we're bad.
That's
Like there's a lot of things
point.
that we're bad
You know what I'm
about,
saying?
for
Because there's a
sure.
lot of things happening in your workplace, in your friend groups that you see that you don't
Yeah.
comment on because you just can't be bothered, or you just don't want to be caught in it. Or that means that you now have to sacrifice your friend group if you really want to protect ABC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're all bad.
Like a
Always
lot of times, I
opportunity.
consider myself as a very outspoken person when it comes to some of these things. But like there are times when I'm like, I'm too tired for this. And like I think about it and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm really like sometimes you're about like just the fact that you can't be bothered enough when somebody is going through it. It makes you a bad person in that situation. Absolutely.
And sometimes you also know that even if you speak up,
What's it going to do?
you will be the problem. Your life will be uncountable.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So you have to wait, like
And
So
it's not
that's
like
why
it's a
I'm saying
movie where
nobody's
oh,
effectively bad.
we are towards the end of the movie, so let me just say my own, and then there'll be a denouement, and it will end. It's
right?
life.
That's
You
not life.
agree? Give me
When
your
you're at
life.
work, you still have to come back on Monday and face these people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So it's complex. Life is complex. Human
Very.
nature is complex.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It
all
gives
right,
I guess give
ratings
people grace.
time.
Okay, she's
Ratings
watching her
time.
vlog, huh? Shit. How long have we been going?
Almost 2 hours at this point.
Okay.
Wow. This is
Rating.
great.
Ratings time. What do we give this book?
I think it's a 5 star.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked everything about it. I liked the writing, the story appropriately incensed me. And
You all
I
the
just
right
think books
emotion.
like
Gave you a
Kindred,
sleepless
the right
night.
emotion, sleepless nights. But I think books like Kindred and like media like Kindred need to exist to remind us of the atrocities of what was meted out to Black people throughout history so that we don't forget. Remember. So I'll give it a 5 star.
Yeah. What
I
about you, Elise?
I think I'll give it a 5 star as well. I think that it's my reminder to be appropriately enraged enough to do something, to make a difference. Yeah. And yeah. And it taught me a lot of history that I didn't know. So
Mhm.
Hmm. You know what? I really enjoyed it. I don't know about giving it a 5 star because I don't know what a 5 star book is. Does that such a thing
it's
exist?
this one. It's
Yeah,
this one.
100%.
We're here.
I have like, I don't know, maybe 10 5-star books from this year alone.
I'm telling you, same.
no
It's okay to
flaws.
give a book 5 stars.
Nothing is wrong. Everything is
No,
perfect.
no, not that nothing is wrong. I was hoping we'd have like a perfect rating this time because I'm going to give it
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say, hey, ding, ding, ding,
You
ding,
gotta do
perfect
math.
rating.
5 star.
You gotta do math.
So because I have no concept of what a 5-star book is, I'm gonna give it a 4.8.
4.5.
Hey, that's
4.99.
so high praise.
Did you say 4.9?
No,
You said
4.8.
4.8.
8.
4.8 because I want to, I might revise because we'll do a recap of the year at the end, and who knows what I might, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's a 5-star because I don't know. I have no comparison. So 4.8 for me.
5 stars for me,
Oh.
obviously. I think that, yeah, like it's not because it's without flaws, but like both of you have said, media like this needs to exist. We need to tell these stories. No matter how uncomfortable they make us feel, we need to let our kids read these stories so they always remember. Very important. And written in this way is actually makes it readable. If I'm reading a biography or an autobiography, I don't think that I'll I'll read it to the end. But because of the creativity and the fact that it's fiction, and I'm able to take myself out and say, okay, this is fiction. And then go back in and, read. I think it makes it even more important. And we've always talked about how our pain and suffering is not told enough. Like I
Yeah.
saw enough Holocaust movies before I saw anything about the Rwandan genocide. And the Rwandan genocide is next
Right.
door. Before I saw anything about the Biafra War, and it's next door,
Right next door.
Next door.
True.
So very, very important. And I'm glad she wrote it. It's quite sad she died. But
Yeah.
hopefully writers will continue to write these kinds of books.
Did she
Yeah.
die young or old age? Do we know?
I
I
gotta
don't
do
know.
math. It says 1947 to 2006. So she was really young, no?
47,
Yeah.
I don't think
2006.
she was that young, though.
Girl, I
Yeah.
get my math.
57, 67,
70.
77, 87,
You
97. She
people
was
are not
like,
good to use a
The
calculator.
millennial
like
is
59.
counting.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
she wasn't 60. She was 59, I
Oh,
think.
that is
59,
very
she died
young.
young.
She had a few books left
I
in
think that
her.
is, yeah, that's young.
In her,
She has other
Her
books
mates are
that,
here still
yeah.
writing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she was
Oh,
59. Yeah.
So yeah, Poka heavily recommends Kindred. Please go
Kindred.
read it.
Yeah.
We do recommend
We
Kindred.
do. And also, fun fact, she was dyslexic. Um, and in
Interesting.
that age, that was not a diagnosed reading, like learning disability, but eventually she got
this
her
is Black people.
diagnosis and yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice. And she's
So
written such great books.
great books. Apparently, the Parable of the Sower is even better than this. I haven't read it, so I can't recommend it yet, but I'm going to, and we'll see if it's one of the books
I'll
that we
definitely be reading more books of hers.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
the books are
Her
good.
writing style is also quite excellent. I
It's
don't
really
We
good.
And she wasn't preaching. I
know.
know
Yes.
people disagree. She wasn't pushing an agenda. She was just telling you a story
Telling her story.
and laying it out there, and then you read and see what happens.
Yep. Love
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
there's a movie called An Antebellum, right? That stars Janelle Monáe. I think it's Janelle Monáe. So when I saw that
Mm.
Janelle Monáe wrote the foreword to Kindred, I thought that movie was based on Kindred. And in fact, it's a common misconception that the movie is based on Kindred. It's not. But I've seen the movie. It's a movie where a woman wakes up in on a slave plantation, a black woman in the 2000s wakes up in a plantation, and it's basically the same thing Dana is going through, except
Mm.
that she when she tries to escape realizes that she's actually not gone back in time. She's just been kidnapped to a place where white people are pretending and enslaving people again in America.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah,
That's crazy. So they've
yeah,
kidnapped her and she's in
and
a
enslaved
setting
her.
that looks like way back when, but it's not
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, before I read this book, I didn't know the meaning of antebellum. I didn't
I
like
still don't.
I
Does it
knew
mean
that
something?
yeah, so it means pre-Civil War. And I didn't know.
Oh,
Ah,
South.
So So
Interesting. I
anytime
thought it
they
was just
say
a
like
name.
anytime they
Yeah,
say like Antebellum, Maryland, it's like pre-Civil War Maryland, like pre-Civil War XYZ, like
Oh,
whatever.
right.
And there's a singing group that was called Lady Antebellum. I think that
yes,
changed
yes.
their
That's
name,
where I got it
right?
from.
Yeah. So I never knew, like I've never even thought about it to even
It's not a
check it.
word
But it
that
was
I
when I
hear a
was
lot
reading
about.
this book that I Googled it and found out.
Yeah,
Look,
it's not a word
Octavia, educating
I think
us
about.
I know, but
posthumously.
apparently there's a show on Hulu based on the book, so we can
Yes, on
check it
Kindred.
What
out.
is it
I saw
called?
I think it's
Kindred.
called
Kindred.
Kindred. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So this is
Yeah.
what Poker Read is
All
about,
the
you guys.
yes.
It's about reading books like this that spark discussion, spark emotions, teach us about our own history that we have forgotten, open our eyes to sort of different perspectives, and just make us in general better human beings for it. So great pick. Very happy with this book. Let us
Yay.
know your thoughts about Kindred in the comments. A lot of comments today. I love that. Hope the discussions continue.
Love it.
This was live streamed on YouTube, obviously. So yeah,
Recommend what book we should read next in the comments, guys.
Yeah, put in the comments
exactly.
what you want
So
us to
about to
read.
say that if you enjoy Poker Read, join the book club. We have a sign up sheet now. You can find it on the app in the chat. We also have our WhatsApp chat is there. It'll be on our social media. We'll include the link, right, Nanajwa? We'll have it on Instagram. If you go on our
Yeah.
page, we can have the link there. I'm not sure if we're doing LinkedIn, but at Poka, check our socials and you'll find the link. If you're also subscribed to our newsletter, we'll send it out again and help recommend what we're reading for July. We're thirsty for another good book. Now we can't go
I think we've
backwards.
had a good year.
Only
We've had a
5
good
books
year so
moving
far.
forward.
Yeah, so far the books have all
Yeah.
been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, okay. I think this is our highest rated book so far, though. 6 months in, we've already got a highest rated book.
We were going on a downward trajectory with the last 2 books,
Oh,
folks.
don't say that.
books.
We've hit our ceiling.
Okay. This has bolstered our spirits. We're happy again. So yes, Poker Reads continues. This was so much fun. And yeah, any last words, guys? Jesse, I'll have you close this one off. It was your discussion.
Yeah, I don't know. Glad to have read it. I didn't, unfortunately, I guess it's the second book I'm reading about slavery in like 6 months. The first book I read was James. And James, oh my goodness, is brutal. I went through the emotions you went through, and I was reading
Oh,
Kindred.
God.
And James,
Is it the one by Percival something?
Everett.
Percival Everett, yes. So it's a
Everett.
retelling of Huckleberry Finn from the perspective of the slave Jim, because he had a
Right.
friend. Yeah.
Mentioned
So,
that. Mhm.
so it's his story now, and you see how I think he was trying. It's just it's brutal. It's brutal, and how they had to even mask how they speak. So when white people are around, they have to speak like they're dumb, they're stupid, and then when
Yeah.
it's them, they have to then they speak like regular humans, and
Oh wow.
it's even more brutal than this, really, because
Yikes.
lovey-dovey.
When you say so, is it I should read it
Oh,
brutal
you should
or
read
don't?
it. You should read. It's a great book. Also, it's based on a classic, and I like the classic. So yeah, it's a good book. But it made me see the realities, the harsh realities of slavery back then, because he was also trying to, because back then you could also escape to, I think slavery was not legal in the North. So you could escape
Mm,
if you are caught. So sometimes you're better off just
Right.
staying
Oh,
as a slave,
yeah.
trying to run.
yeah.
And how, and also it talked about white passing blacks as well. So the book
Yeah.
also explores
Okay.
that
Oh, this
as
one
well.
didn't.
If you were
Yeah, because
lucky
like,
enough to be light
yeah,
skinned,
Did skin tone
then
come up in Kindred? I don't think so. Not
I
so
don't think
much.
so.
No.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. No.
That's but yeah, that's another issue, another layer when it comes to the slavery, the
Yeah.
slavery.
Yeah, so, but I guess I'd prefer this book because that one is a bit too harsh.
Okay, so
Also, because it was my first. So maybe if I'd read this book first, I would have felt the same way about this book as
Maybe.
well. Both 5-star
Yeah.
books for me because I think these stories are very important.
yeah.
And they're not very preachy. Love that. And I think it's a short book. So I'm glad we read this book and join us next month. Who's pick? I don't know.
I think
Audience
we're
choice.
letting
Having a
Audience
you
public
choice.
pick,
audience
isn't
pick.
it?
But I
So
think
Yeah.
let's lay out the
it's Poka
parameters.
Dog.
It has to be an African author,
Mhm.
preferably
Female
woman.
author.
Stories about African women,
Yeah.
more broadly Black women, but African women specifically, because that's what Poka is about. Poka is about centering the African woman. Great.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So see you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
Shut
Thank
it
you for
off.
joining us and see.